This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome to DBL. It's Wednesday, June 30th. I'm here in Pretoria again, and I'm here with Brandon and Jeff. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
You made me laugh at the beginning of the show, Brandon.
Why?
You know what you were doing. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Brandon, he's a handsome man.
He sits. I think he sits in the mirror before the show, like, yeah, it's gonna be a good day.
No. I'm all about personality, so I'm here to show the people the personality.
Right, I understand
It's
that
not just
completely.
a beautiful face.
Let's get into it. So, guys, it's been a week since the Florida condo came crashing down, and there still hasn't been anyone pulled out alive from the rubble since hours after the collapse happened last Thursday. So, at the time of our taping, 145 people are still unaccounted for. Today, we're getting a look at a letter that was sent from the board president to condo residents back in April. The letter says it's describing the decay of the building, saying, quote, concrete damage observed would begin to multiply exponentially, and observable damage such as the garage has gotten significantly worse. The board reportedly wanted residents to help pay for this. Yes, pay $15 million in repair to the building. As we mentioned yesterday, a lot of people are focusing in on the pool area as a possible weak point that caused the collapse, but there are also a lot of other theories. So some experts think this giant shock test we were all confused about, that the Navy did off the coast of Florida, which registered as a 3.9 magnitude earthquake, could have caused and contributed to the collapse. Area residents also complained about a development project that was right next door, which they said regularly caused the building to shake. So the question is, how would you guys feel if you got a letter saying this from your management, that we're collecting $15 million over the next few years to help pay for what looks like very vague, cryptic damage?
Yeah, I mean, I lived in a condo or in a high-rise when I first moved here in Denver, and they raise the rates for different things, and you get upset as a tenant, like, why am I paying for this? You know what I mean? I'm also paying rent, and now my rent's going to increase due to this problem. I don't know if they were specific enough to say, like, listen, there's possibility of this collapsing. You know, I don't think.
But nobody says that owns a building.
Right, they don't want. I mean, in certain words,
right.
They use a lot of big words in that letter. But if they were like a little more. I think they knew a little bit more what was going on. I didn't think they didn't think it was going to collapse per se, but they knew a little $18 million in renovations that you have to pay for. Again, I don't know if that would be enough to scare me out of the building.
And to be so vague about it, because I mean, you just purchased your first house, you just got your first house. Think about how hard that process was. Think about how someone had to walk you through that. So when we're talking about, I believe in this letter, they were saying like some condos or some of the units, they needed $80,000. A lot of these units are vacation rentals. People aren't even living there. They're renting these things out. So you're trying to make a ROI. You're trying to make your money back. Right. That's a down payment on a house or a condo. So between the vague language and I believe people not knowing when it comes to, or do you have to pay this money? Is it part of the homeowner's insurance? Is it part of my own insurance? I think that led to a lot. And now you're seeing a lot of finger pointing from engineers to pool guys to the government. Yeah.
And it's easy to say what you would do, like if you got that letter back then, knowing what you know right now. I think I would be like, okay, it's time to move. Even right now, there's a jackhammer that goes off every morning in my building. They're fixing the 5-level parking lot. And I'm like, I move next Tuesday. I cannot wait to get out because I'm freaking out based on, like, they keep sending these, we're doing repairs to the parking garage. And I'm like, well, what happens if I'm driving down and it's not repaired?
But do you feel fear a little bit?
I'm actually worried about it, you know, and I'm just like, and I think about it when I leave, like, I wish that Colin could leave with me, you know, while we both would not be there, but it's just like a lot to think about. So I don't think that these residents were automatically panicking when they got that letter before this.
Well, have you called your board? Like now, since that panic mode has kind of set in a little bit, have you called the board of association at your complex to ask, hey, is this safe drilling? Should I be worried about anything?
And I didn't. That's what I mean. And most people don't go through all those steps until, like, most people have water damage and then their roofs caved in and now they're like, okay, I got to call insurance.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are feeling what you're feeling, though, especially living in high rises like that.
Absolutely. Right. Let's talk about another story. There's a really big debate right now over paying people for working in the office versus people who work from home. Some folks who are heading into the office say they should get paid more. And of course, this comes as more employers are trying to get everyone back from remote working to back into the office. So what do you think? Should those working in person get a pay raise, or is it unfair for people to get paid different amounts for doing the same work, even if one of them can do it from the comfort of their own home? Let me tell you, I think that I appreciated how productive I'll say many people were. I know people were at home fooling around in their pajamas and really taking advantage of their companies in the beginning, but I think we reeled it in towards the end of the pandemic.
Yes, yes. For me, I was ready to get back into the office. I know some people found a new way of life saying, hey, I could also do my job at home, which cuts back on gas prices. I don't have to drive as far. I have more time with my family. Yep. All that's great. But you don't get a pay raise to go do the same job that you were originally doing. Maybe you negotiate something and saying, hey, listen, I'll take a pay cut if I could work from home because you are saving a little bit of money. You're saving some time. You definitely should not get a pay raise.
No one's raising their hand
who's going to raise their hand for a pay cut to be home?
You should never get. You're never getting a pay raise to come back and do the exact same job that you were doing. That's crazy.
No, I agree, which is why I'm okay with people getting the same amount of money. It's all of what you said. The key word, production. If it's something where if I'm Verizon, if I'm working at a Verizon, and let's say I have to drive into Verizon, I'm trying to get you to get this new iPhone, but I can't sell that iPhone, but the person online who can do it through Zoom or whatever it is that's set up can sell that iPhone, that person should still be getting more money, or at least the same amount of money. I think a lot of people are going to take advantage of it.
In this situation, I'm a hypocrite because I think that working from home was beautiful to get things done as far as productivity. But if Brandon was allowed to work from home and do the show from Zoom, I'm just saying, or anybody was allowed to work from home and I had to come in the office and use my gas money and pay my auto insurance, I would be very irritated. I would try to figure out why don't we get paid differently.
What if we were doing the show and I was getting more views, I was getting more likes
from home?
Yeah, but from what I said, it's the production thing.
Fine, but let's not use the show. Let's just use somebody else. Let's use back to Verizon employee. If Joe got to be able to work from home and I didn't, I would be frustrated even working in corporate. Like, come on, man, we do the same thing.
Now you're talking about production, so that's based on like a sales salary. So if you sell more, you get paid more. I don't think that's what we're talking about here. I think we're talking about a base salary for doing a certain job that doesn't have
like a general manager.
Right, like it doesn't have incentives sales-wise, right? If
Some people's commute is like an hour and a half, though. That's like 3 hours of your day that's getting eaten up.
You don't get a raise because we had a pandemic. That doesn't make any sense at all.
I mean, a lot of different things changed during the pandemic. This could be one of them.
Like gas prices.
Here's one thing. Maybe some companies say, we don't need so much office space. You are going to work from home now. And in this case, it worked for them. But if you're just a regular person working for a job and you're like, listen, I like my slippers too much. I'm going to need a raise to come in. Get real.
The boxers on the Zoom meetings, though, a lot of people love those.
Okay, listen, before we go, we have some crazy video to show you guys that's going viral. Check out this flying car. It just completed its first test flight between 2 cities in Europe. The hybrid car aircraft can fly about 600 miles, and it takes a little more than 2 minutes to transform from car to airplane. This is like my child Jetson's dream come true.
Really?
You guys do not care?
We're not here yet, Lindsay. I'm not. We just saw a building collapse. Our infrastructure, our roads are terrible. So what are we going to do for a flying car?
Are you guys seriously negative, Nancy? When I saw the pizza delivery in other countries being tested and dropped off at people's porches, I was thrilled about that. Why are you guys so cranky about this?
Because you're not in that pizza delivery hovercraft.
No one is in it. It was flown by a drone. This is someone in it, but like someone has to test it out. Someone goes to the moon. Someone tests out everything.
I don't even like flying in an airplane. I don't need a cuter version of an airplane that could break down quicker.
Cuter.
It's like jumping out of an airplane with a parachute.
You're more likely to get in a car accident than an airplane crash, man. This is dramatic.
I don't care what it looks like.
Oh my gosh. Coming up on DBL, Grammy winner Jason Mraz. He's talking about everything from his unexpected connection with Chipotle to his new reggae-inspired album, and a warning from Dr. Fauci about vaccination rates. He's saying that the divide in America is getting very large as the Delta variant spreads.
Closed captioning provided by
Welcome back to DBL. With this new, more contagious Delta variant now accounting for more than a quarter of COVID cases, Dr. Fauci is out with a warning. Here's what he said on CNN last night.
What you are going to see among under-vaccinated regions, be they states, cities, or counties, you're going to see these individual types of blips. It's almost like it's going to be two Americas. You're going to have areas where the vaccine rate is high, where there's more than 70% of the population has received at least one dose. When you compare that with areas where you may have 35% of the people vaccinated, you clearly have a high risk of seeing these spikes in those selected areas.
So what do you guys think about the idea of two Americas, one with low vaccination rates and COVID cases spiking again, and the other where enough people get vaccinated to cut the COVID cases down? This scares me because I know a lot of people in different communities have different reasons, whether they're religious or medical or just being fearful of some of our medical history in this country, have not gotten the vaccine. But now I'm just like, what's going on in the UK can easily come over here. We saw that of everything last year. Any other country is just arm's throw away from us when one person travels here and it spreads. So are you worried there's going to be two different Americas?
I think he's onto something here. You know what I mean? Not to be political, but I think we're already divided as a country, and this is just another reason to divide us. I think people who got the vaccine wanted their vaccine. I think people who don't want the vaccine are not going to get the vaccine. There's no convincing them, right? I'm vaccinated up to 88% for what Dr. Coley said with this new Delta variant. So I feel pretty safe for my own well-being. If you choose not to get the vaccine for whatever your reason may be, that's on you. But I feel comfortable going out, being in public, going to a sporting event. I feel good about it. So I guess I'm in that part of the world, whatever that is.
No, we are. I mean, like you said, he is onto something because we are. I mean, you're looking at it. We've done stories here where we saw that they've done concerts at LA Live for only vaccinated people that can show up and attend this concert. So we're already kind of leaning into that. And just think, if we're already been politicized over standing for a flag or for who you vote for, what your voting rights are, then yes, it is going to be something when it comes to this vaccinated, if you're vaccinated or not. But I just hope that the one thing that both sides can agree on is testing, like trying to put things in place to the contract tracing. There are things that we did throughout this pandemic, like I said, the contract tracing and different things of that nature, where we're able to figure out who has it and who's not, because it's obvious, like you said, some people aren't going to get this vaccine.
But what about the people who can't get vaccinated? I just feel bad that we're now ostracized. Anybody who has like a really serious religious reason, immunocompromised or medical reason.
I thought you meant for some reasons, because I'm like, Uber's giving free rides.
No. I'm not saying you can't have access. I'm not saying access has really become really open and easy with CVS and everybody offering it even for free in some places. But I'm saying people who can't get it for whatever reason, it's kind of like, now we're like, well, you over there, and even hearing you say it, you're like, well, I feel good too, you know, walking around and going to these things.
If you had a child that's immunocompromised.
Right, how would you feel that this is the conversation that, oh, you're over there? It's like,
that's
just
a good
dividing
point
people.
to bring up. I think I'd be a little angry, maybe, you know, like, because that person is more susceptible to gaining that and could cost them their life based on someone else's political choice, religious choice, or just personal choice, right? So I'm not that close to it, but that's a terrific question to ask.
Yeah. Right. So coming up on DBL, Jason Mraz gives us the scoop on his new reggae-inspired album. Plus, why did Jeff ask him about getting free guac from Chipotle? Find out next.
If you've been priced out of the red-hot housing market, good news. Experts say the market may be starting to cool. Let's connect the dots. Houses are selling quickly right now, often for thousands above asking price. You can blame a big increase in demand and record low mortgage rates. But Realtor.com says things may be changing. New numbers show fewer buyers are applying for mortgages and price growth is slowing down. The chief economist for Moody's Analytics has some theories about what's going on. First, he says mortgage rates aren't going to stay this low forever. Once prices go up, housing prices will adjust as well. Also, more people are returning to work, meaning the demand for a perfect home office is going down. Even if home prices drop, experts are not expecting a catastrophe. Most do not believe this is a housing bubble, so they aren't expecting a crash like 2008. They say prices probably won't plummet. You might just have less competition when you make a bid. And that is Connecting the Dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Two-time Grammy winner Jason Mraz, and my favorite artist, is about to get back on the road to promote the release of his deluxe album, Look for the Good. Earlier, he joined us to talk all about it. Let's have a look.
Lucky, I'm in love with my best friend. Lucky to have been where we have been. Lucky to be coming home again.
That was none other than two-time Grammy winner Jason Mraz, and that was a new rendition of his hit song Lucky. There he is. He's joining us today. Welcome, Jason.
Hey, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us about the Look for the Good deluxe album and your upcoming tour.
Last year I put out an album called Look for the Good, 12 new songs in a reggae style and fashion, and we're hitting the road finally this year now that venues and states are opening back up. And I decided I would add more songs to Look for the Good that included songs from my catalog to basically give us all a jump start on what the sounds are going to be like this summer. So on the deluxe edition, I included a new version of I'm Yours, Lucky, Make It Mine, as well as a couple of new songs as well, because I just can't stop writing songs. I try to use my superpowers for good and create good music.
Jason, I'm supposed to tone down how big of a fan I am, but I got to tell you, my wife and I have been to so many of your shows. One of our favorite pictures in our house is a photo you took with us backstage at the Hollywood Bowl. Very gracious with your time. But I
Wow.
Wow.
It was beautiful. It was wild for me as well. But I love how positive
Yes.
your music is, Jason. But people might not know that you really practice what you preach. Can you tell us and everybody what you're going to do with these profits from this album?
Yeah, so already I've given away $250,000 that were profits from Look for the Good. And I did that to advance Black lives and to advance programs that are helping transform our justice system and to uplift communities that have been marginalized and underserved. You know, as I said earlier, I've been blessed to be able to invent songs on guitar and piano, and I've done very well. And I feel like our world, our system was set up for a guy like me who has a dream to just go and pursue that dream. And our system isn't yet fully set up for anybody to pursue their dream. So I wanted to make sure that my dream was going to benefit others' dreams as well. So that's what Look for the Good is doing behind the scenes.
You know, Jason, they say that good people know good people, and I've been doing stand-up professionally for 13 years, and I've known Tiffany Haddish for almost all those 13. So you have to imagine how shocked I was when I saw her as a guest rapper, because I didn't know she should rap. So let me ask you this real quick: are we gonna see you do stand-up comedy?
I love stand-up comedy. I think it's one of the highest art forms because I rely on a guitar to entertain and melodies, pre-written lyrics, you know. And when I see stand-up, when there's no instrument, no prop, and you're just storytelling and you're taking everyone into their hearts and laughter is an opportunity to breathe consciously, which is the greatest gift on this planet, is to be awake and breathing and know that you're here. And laughter really gets us there. So I've always admired comedy. And that's how I met Tiffany. I went to see one of her shows and we had a mutual friend. And I wonder if she does music. And when I asked her, she said, yeah. And within days, we were in a studio together doing this song. It was very, very cool.
That's amazing. Now, Jason, I heard another surprising thing about you that actually has nothing to do with music. So tell us what you and Chipotle have in common.
Avocados. So after my first album, I moved out to the country, and it just so happened it was an avocado ranch. And so by living out here, the trees were planted by a farmer who planted them before I was even born. So I basically inherited his life work. As I fell in love with the trees, to prune them and feed them, to keep them growing, I learned that Chipotle is one of the largest purchasers of avocados in the country. So they knock on your door and say, we'd love to buy your avocados. And ours are organic and beautiful, so of course they want ours. So we've worked together for many, many years. This year, they asked if I would participate in their Young Illuminaries project, which is about awarding grants and scholarships to young farmers, young people who are getting into agriculture. So I'm helping to review those grants and applications, and as well as offering some mentoring to hopefully share some of my successes and some of my failures in agriculture.
So, Jason, before we go, I got one question for the whole panel. Since we're now friends, if we go to Chipotle, can we say we know Jason Mraz and we don't have to pay extra for guac?
Oh, I'll take that deal.
Absolutely. And then you just have to run really fast after they give it to you.
All right, we're going to clip that, and we're going to bring that into Chipotle. Jason said it was okay. Jason, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you. DBL Nation, go out and get your copy of the deluxe edition of Look for the Good on July 16th. And don't miss Jason and his 13-piece reggae band on tour kicking off July 30th. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thanks, Jason.
Back,
what a pleasure.
Come in studio next time.
My pleasure. Thank you all.
Denver, Colorado, we're going to wait for you. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
chamomile tea, melatonin, warm milk. They're just some remedies people swear by to help them get to sleep. People on social media are now adding lettuce water to the list. The idea of the green leaf brew caused a stir on TikTok when Shapla 11 steeped a couple of leaves of lettuce in hot water. The London-based TikToker's video was so hot that it received more than 1 million likes. So let's verify. Is there evidence that proves lettuce tea helps people get to sleep? Our sources: studies published with the National Library of Medicine, a sleep doctor, and a medical herbalist. Several studies found that lettuce contains lacticarium, a natural chemical that helps people relax and induce sleep. Scientists put that to the test by feeding mice Lactica sativa, which is the scientific name for lettuce. After nibbling on the leafy green, scientists noticed that lettuce increased sleep in some of the mice. Medical herbalist Todd Caldecott explains that if you make an extract out of lettuce to make a tea, there's just not going to be enough of the active ingredient to put a person to sleep.
You're not going to extract very much of this lacticarium, the active ingredients, and there's not very much in there to start with. So I doubt that it will have an observable, objective sedative effect.
Sleep specialist Dr. Michael Breas adds that neither of the studies provides enough evidence that lettuce tea or lettuce water actually helps humans with sleep.
We've got 2 studies that I've been able to review, the 2017 study and the 2019 study. To be fair, those were done in rodent models. That's the only studies that I've read about lettuce. And I just don't feel that it's a compelling enough data to be able to say, hey, everybody, go out and do something like this.
So we can verify there is no evidence that proves lettuce tea or lettuce water help a person fall asleep. Just mice. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Want something?
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. For years, the Better Business Bureau has warned older adults and seniors to be cautious of scams as they were at the highest risk. But now there's a new warning. The Federal Trade Commission says the younger generation is now at higher risk of being scammed compared to those seniors, thanks to the digital world. Get this, 44% of people ages 20 to 29 have lost money to fraud or scams. That's actually more than double the amount of the people ages 70 to 79. On average, scammers steal about $150 from younger people, from the younger population, tricking them with online ads and sales. So if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock helps you and your digital identity stay secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more.
I can see why the younger, the 20 to 29-year-olds are getting scammed, because you see so many comments on people's pages, DM for collab, and a lot of the time those are scams, you know. Yeah. But I just wanted to go back to the building collapse, the first responders for being out there, and I just wanted to thank them so much, and I just hope that we honor them a lot better than the 9/11 responders, because remember, a lot of them died from cancer-like problems and all after that, and they had to have a whole lawsuit. So thank you all for running to the roar, as they say.
That's an aspect we haven't even talked about yet. So thanks for bringing that up.
Right, it's really important. So DBL is new every single day. We'll see you guys same time, same place tomorrow. Thanks for joining us.
Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Will Bill Cosby be a free man? The shocking turn of events in court today. Could the condo collapse in Florida have been prevented? The serious structural damage that was known about for years. In today's True Crime Chronicles, a small town on edge for years as 8 murders remain unsolved.
I think we have more than one killer here, and I think they all run in the same circle.
Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. And Kim Kardashian pushes dress code limits at the Vatican, but did she break protocol?
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, June 30th. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Al, and Lindsay. Let's get started. So big news to start the show. Bill Cosby is about to be a free man. A Pennsylvania State Supreme Court has just overturned his sexual assault conviction. Now, the court looked at two aspects of Cosby's case. The first involved the judge's decision to let prosecutors call 5 other accusers. And the other found that Cosby's agreement with a former DA prevented him from being criminally charged. Cosby, who is 83, was convicted of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault back in 2018 and also was deemed a, quote, if you remember, by the court, a sexually violent predator. At the time of our taping, it's been reported that Cosby could be out of prison in a matter of hours. So we have many questions. For more on this, we are joined by former prosecutor and civil rights attorney Maria Banjo. Maria, thank you for joining us. Please help us understand what's going on here. How is it that Bill Cosby is getting out of prison? And for the viewers out there who, it's been a few years, so please just don't assume that that everyone knows all the details. So break it down for us.
Thank you for having me. At the end of the day, what is at stake here is a huge, huge undertaking. What happened was, back when the prosecutor initially made an assessment of the case, he had given a promise not to prosecute Bill Cosby if he cooperated with the civil case. And in that situation, because of that, Cosby relied upon that promise and gave up his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. And in those situations, that is particularly why the court not only vacated the prior conviction, but actually barred any future prosecution against Bill Cosby. Specifically, he was now being discharged officially. I think what we have here is a balancing of the Fifth Amendment right that everyone is afforded here who's charged with a criminal crime against public interest in seeing justice done. And what I think we can take away from this particular opinion is that the court takes the Fifth Amendment right very seriously and are holding prosecutors to the promises that they make to those accused of crimes.
Yeah, and I remember reporting on this years back, right? I remember hearing, because when he did do this deposition, he incriminated himself. He said, you know, X, Y, and Z in so many words that he had drugged women. And now here we are, and you would think that even though it was used in the recent case in 2018 as to incriminate him, here it is now allowing him to be a free man. So let's talk about this deal, right, that he had with the former DA. How common are deals like this? And why would a DA agree to forego a criminal case for a civil one like this? And why is this now coming out now? Why didn't we foresee this back in 2018?
It's actually pretty common for there to be some sort of deals. However, what's important to note is that they must be victim-centered. You know, going through a whole trial is very taxing and can have a great negative impact on the mental health of victims. So frequently, prosecutors take that into consideration when deciding to forego a criminal prosecution, especially if the particular victim harmed is seeking other ways to realize justice. However, in this particular case, as you all know, it occurred prior to the Me Too era. It occurred during a time where women were not trusted, women were not believed, and their concerns were not taken seriously. So is it common for this kind of a deal to be made? I hope not, but I'm not entirely surprised. I am not surprised as well as far as the opinion. I think that they probably anticipated this. I think a lot of times people go into, especially prosecutors, go into cases knowing it's an uphill battle, and they're going to do everything they can to obtain justice for the victim that they're serving. And in this particular case, they were not able to get long-lasting justice.
And I want to ask you, I want to ask you, what about the women who say Bill Cosby drugged and sexually assaulted them? Will they ever get a chance to see justice now?
It does not appear so. Specifically, they use the word barred. The court has barred the prosecutions to now seek justice. It's my understanding that only one of his prior victims were still within the statute of limitations, and that was the one that they determined has now been barred. So barring any additional appeals, legal appeals made to the courts, I do not believe that they are going to be able to seek the kind of justice they've been looking for as far as in custody confinement by Bill Cosby.
So, in your opinion, what are the chances that 83-year-old Bill Cosby will sleep in his own bed tonight, for one, or will ever see prison again?
It is a great likelihood that he will probably be back in his home as soon as they can transport him.
We're having some technical difficulties. Maria, thank you for your time. We really appreciate you clarifying. We have so many questions. Thank you for helping us understand. What are we feeling? What are you feeling right now?
Sad that I'm not shocked. I'm a little disappointed in myself for thinking that we would see justice really for anybody long term. We just don't see it for people that have money. It seems like with our criminal justice system, the one thing that does matter, almost over the color of your skin, is if you have money. And when people have money, and especially if the victims do not, I rarely see any kind of justice that I'm satisfied with.
I think it will be remiss to mention that there are people in this country that still have not let go of the idea that Bill Cosby was an idol and a father to them and all these kind of things. And even though there were 60 accusations that I respect and listen to of these women, there are a bunch of people that are saying this now kind of helps them feel validated that he's not in jail anymore, and had these conversations because they were constantly having the black man as the poster child when they do something wrong. So Roman Polanski, for example, is another person that abused and sexually assaulted 13-year-old, and he fled to France and has never been brought back. We have Woody Allen and all these other people that are in similar roles as Bill Cosby that have never faced anything close to what Bill Cosby has faced and is facing. And so I do agree that he deserves the time for anything that he did and has went under this, but I think there's a sentiment, and I'm seeing all over Twitter, of people who are not even of color or just men or whatever, and I, again, stand with the people who are survivors, but I do think that there's a sentiment that people are standing here saying they're tired of the black person being the poster child instead of everyone. And so maybe this is an accountability time to go after all those rich people who have done similar things, and time to reel them all in and maybe start actually making the justice system work the same for everybody, like we always talk about.
Wow, great conversation coming up on DBL. The search for answers continues in that condo collapse in Florida. Could it have all been prevented? We're talking to a civil engineer who's been on the scene investigating, and Howard Stern fans are outraged after he announced he's taking the summer off. Why, they say, now is not the time for a vacation. Plus, a warning from Dr. Fauci about vaccination rates, what he's saying about the divide in America as the Delta variant spreads.
Closed captioning.
One of the big mysteries surrounding the coronavirus vaccine is how long immunity will last. Now, scientists say they have solved that mystery, and the news is good, at least for some. Let's connect the dots. The new results were just published in the journal Nature. Researchers believe mRNA vaccines could provide protection against COVID-19 for the long term. We are talking about the shots produced by Pfizer and Moderna. The study did not look at the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, but the lead researcher to the New York Times says he did not believe the immune response from that shot would be as durable. According to the findings, it looks like the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines created a persistent immune reaction in the body, an immunity that could last years. Researchers reported people who had those shots may not need to get a booster dose, as long as the virus doesn't evolve drastically from its current forms. Scientists also believe that the immunity provided by the vaccines is actually better than the immunity provided by getting infected with the coronavirus. That's because it is more diverse, meaning it will do a better job at fighting variants. But the best possible immunity appears to be people who are vaccinated and recovered from COVID. Their immunity could last a lifetime. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. It's been almost a week since the Florida condo came crashing down, and there still hasn't been anyone pulled out alive from the rubble since hours after it collapsed last Thursday. At the time of our taping, 145 people are still unaccounted for. Today, we're getting a look at a letter that was sent from the board president to condo residents back in April. It describes the decay of the building, saying, quote, concrete damage observed would begin to multiply exponentially, and observable damage, such as in the garage, has gotten significantly worse. Now, the board reportedly wanted residents to help pay for the $15 million in repair to the building. And as we mentioned yesterday, a lot of people are focusing in on the pool area as a possible weak point that caused the collapse. But there are other possible theories. Some experts think this giant shock test that the Navy conducted off the coast of Florida, which registered as a 3.9 magnitude earthquake, could have contributed to the collapse. Area residents also complained about a development project next door, which they said regularly caused the building to shake. So joining us now is Alan Kilsheimer, a world-renowned civil engineer who's been hired to investigate this very collapse. Alan, thank you for being here despite the horrific circumstances. What are you looking at here as a possible reason that this building collapsed?
Well, let me start by saying I'm a structural engineer, not a civil engineer, but leave that aside. The way we investigate failures like this is we come up in our minds with all the potential possible causes we can think of. And then based on information we get, develop, test, computer programs we run, engineering analysis we do, we try to eliminate them one at a time. Sometimes the list gets longer and sometimes the list gets smaller. And when we have completed all these investigations that we need to be doing, we sometimes, usually when the trigger event is like a bomb or a hurricane or something like that, or a plane, we know what the trigger event was. In this case, we don't know what the trigger event was. So we're trying to figure out what the trigger event might be, or trigger events. And then you look at the various systems in the building to try and see if they weren't perfect. And in my 63 years of doing this, there's never been a perfect building. And there are always little things that are wrong with it. So then you look at these things that might have been wrong, and you say, if that trigger occurred and that particular thing would have been perfect, then maybe it wouldn't have come down. And so you go through that, but in the very end, you probably will have several possibilities of why this thing came down, and you won't be able to get it past that point. But I don't know whether we're going to be at that point or not.
Well, you know, a lot of has been made of this 2018 engineering report that recommended millions of dollars in repairs. As a structural engineer, if you saw that report, would you have been worried that the building was in danger of collapsing?
Well, first thing, remember, I'm a structural engineer, so theoretically, I understand what that report says, right? And based on what I, as a structural engineer, would understand that says, no, that would not give me any indication that the building was in imminent danger of collapse.
Let's talk about the sister building. If you lived in one of them, would you feel comfortable living there right now?
Well, I'm going to answer that again from a structural engineering standpoint. If I lived in the building and I was not a structural engineer, I would say, gee, maybe I should be a little worried about this, right? But at the same time, one of the things I've been doing is looking at the drawings for the North Building and the East Building, beginning to understand some of those buildings too. And as I sit here today, I see nothing that tells me that either of those buildings is in imminent danger of structural collapse.
Now, across the country, a lot of people who live in high-rises right now are worried. So what advice do you have for them? Should they be looking for somewhere else that they think is safer, or is this just a Florida issue? How do you feel about that?
I don't think you draw what is it called, the food with the garbage or something. I think this is most probably, and again, I have 60 some odd years experience in doing this, and I've investigated probably 50 to 100 collapses. I think this is a one-off for this kind of issue, whatever this issue is. I certainly wouldn't be concerned with other buildings unless there was somebody found a structural design problem or a structural construction problem, and then they evaluated and determined if there was a problem. So no, I certainly wouldn't. I would tell those people, don't worry, because if you don't know something for sure, and you can't listen to all these experts that really aren't experts, that don't, they just, there's some people like to scare people, right? Right. So no, I wouldn't be concerned. And I don't live in a house. I live in a house, not a high rise. But I've never lived in a high rise. But our firm has designed several hundred of them. And while we make mistakes and we design, we almost always catch the mistakes before they're a problem. And while buildings are built, there's always a little bit of a problem with a building when it's being built. They don't get everything perfectly, but usually you catch them. And then there's, I always say buildings talk to you if you know how to listen to them. So the key is getting folks that know how to listen to buildings talking to them to understand.
Alan, thank you. We have run out of time. We really appreciate you for clarifying and for joining us on DBL. Good luck getting to the bottom of this. We hope that people can have answers. I know a lot of the people out there are just in pure anguish, but they are in good hands, in your hands. We'll be right back.
Nearly one.
If you've been priced out of the red-hot housing market, good news. Experts say the market may be starting to cool. Let's connect the dots. Houses are selling quickly right now, often for thousands above asking price. You can blame a big increase in demand and record low mortgage rates. But Realtor.com says things may be changing. New numbers show fewer buyers are applying for mortgages and price growth is slowing down. The chief economist for Moody's Analytics has some theories about what's going on. First, he says mortgage rates aren't going to stay this low forever. Once prices go up, housing prices will adjust as well. Also, more people are returning to work, meaning the demand for a perfect home office is going down. Even if home prices drop, experts are not expecting a catastrophe. Most do not believe this is a housing bubble, so they aren't expecting a crash like 2008. They say prices probably won't plummet. You might just have less competition when you make a bid. And that is connecting the dots. Welcome back to DBL. With this new, more contagious Delta variant now accounting for more than a quarter of COVID cases, Dr. Fauci is out with a warning. Here's what he said on CNN last night.
What you are going to see among under-vaccinated regions, be they states, cities, or counties, you're going to see these individual types of blips. It's almost like it's going to be two Americas. You're going to have areas where the vaccine rate is high, where there's more than 70% of the population has received at least one dose. When you compare that with areas where you may have 35% of the people vaccinated, you clearly have a high risk of seeing these spikes in those selected areas.
Wow. So what do you think of the idea of two Americas, one with low vaccination rates and COVID cases spiking again, and the other where enough people got the vaccine to keep COVID cases down? So this is clearly going to depend on where you live. Terrifying. Does it impact the way you would travel?
I don't know if it's terrifying. I think it's truthful. I think we are in two Americas, whether it be on the vaccine, whether it be politically, whether it be socially. We're divided, and that's just the way it is. So we have to deal with what we have to deal with now. The people who aren't vaccinated are not going to get vaccinated. No incentive is going to get them vaccinated. They made up their minds, and that's fine. I've chosen to be vaccinated. I'm 88% protected against this new Delta variant. I feel very comfortable. I feel very comfortable going to the store, going to sporting events. I feel comfortable. So the people who don't or aren't vaccinated are the ones that should be worried. And I feel most for people who are asymptomatic, right? That could get this disease and it could kill them. If I was vaccinated and I had a child that was asymptomatic or immunocompromised, that's what I meant to say, I'm sorry, I would be mad. I would be furious. But right now, that isn't my position, and I feel comfortable where I'm at walking in my shoes.
And I think it's turned into like this individualistic thing where like I'm vaccinated, you're not. And we're going to have people that can't get vaccinated for medical reasons, even though the number is small. We're going to have people who can't get vaccinated for religious reasons that we have to respect. And so I think when we start to walk around and say, okay, I'm vaccinated, you're not, it's going to create this divide that some people didn't even ask for. It's just the way that they were born or the way that they were born into this religion. And so I think we have to be careful about just saying who got vaccinated and who didn't, and starting to pick people out and make people show their passport vaccination cards.
Segregate them in some sort of sense.
Right, and I know that it might be a requirement for travel or school, but I just feel like it's creating like a really uncomfortable environment for a lot of people.
I think the reason why it creates an uncomfortable environment, and I'm not talking about religious people or autoimmune compromised individuals.
Right.
That's why we want herd immunity, to protect those people.
Right.
That's the goal. It's the people out there that are watching YouTube conspiracy theory videos, that are reading clickbait, sensational, controversial headlines that have zero substance to them, pure misinformation, that infuriates me, as my brother-in-law is still in the hospital going on 7 months with COVID complications. And I know I'm not alone, because I've had viewers reach out to me saying that 2 weeks ago, their loved one's on a ventilator. 6 weeks ago, there's another viewer, day 47, her father, 52 years old, is still on a ventilator for COVID complications today.
Right. Well, perception is reality. And no matter how you feel about those videos, those people feel just as seriously that they are true and they are living their truth. And what's going to happen, because you feel the way you do and they feel the way they do, it's just human beings will naturally separate. There will be areas that have higher spike rates, like Dr. Fauci was saying, and that's going to create almost a natural isolation with certain areas. And the people that are there are going to kind of buy into that because that's how they feel. And the people that would not take their family there on vacation, should that COVID rate spike, will be people like you, so it will naturally take care of itself. But it is what it is, and we cannot stop that.
Wow. All right, well, we will be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought.
Chamomile tea, melatonin, warm milk. They're just some remedies people swear by to help them get to sleep. People on social media are now adding lettuce water to the list. The idea of the green leaf brew caused a stir on TikTok when Shapla 11 steeped a couple of leaves of lettuce in hot water. The London-based TikToker's video was so hot that it received more than 1 million likes. So let's verify. Is there evidence that proves lettuce tea helps people get to sleep? Our sources: studies published with the National Library of Medicine, a sleep doctor, and a medical herbalist. Several studies found that lettuce contains lacticarium, a natural chemical that helps people relax and induce sleep. Scientists put that to the test by feeding mice Lactica sativa, which is the scientific name for lettuce. After nibbling on the leafy green, scientists noticed that lettuce increased sleep in some of the mice. Medical herbalist Todd Caldecott explains that if you make an extract out of lettuce to make a tea, there's just not going to be enough of the active ingredient to put a person to sleep.
You're not going to extract very much of this lacticarium, the active ingredients, and there's not very much in there to start with. So I doubt that it will have an observable, objective sedative effect.
Sleep specialist Dr. Michael Breas adds that neither of the studies provides enough evidence that lettuce tea or lettuce water actually helps humans with sleep.
We've got 2 studies that I've been able to review, the 2017 study and the 2019 study. To be fair, those were done in rodent models. That's the only studies that I've read about lettuce. And I just don't feel that it's a compelling enough data to be able to say, hey, everybody, go out and do something like this.
So we can verify there is no evidence that proves lettuce tea or lettuce water help a person fall asleep. Just mice. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Want something?
Us. You can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube, chat with other viewers, leave your comments, and be a part of our DBL Nation. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Howard Stern is getting backlash for taking a vacation. Is it well-deserved, or do his fans deserve an explanation? And former Smallville star Allison Mack gets sentenced for her involvement in the NXIVM sex cult. How much time will she spend in prison?
Talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam, here with my friends Jeff Al and Lindsay. Let's get started. A really important story. A lot of us have been invested in this one. Former Smallville actress Allison Mack has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for her role in the NXIVM sex cult. Allison was a high-ranking member of the group where women were branded with leader Keith Raniere's initials, and were directed to have sex with him. Allison testified against Keith and provided evidence that helped prosecutors convict him of racketeering. During her sentencing hearing, Allison called her time in the cult, quote, the biggest mistake and regret of my life. Now, NXIVM was the subject of an HBO documentary. Keith is currently serving 120 years in prison. Now, we were all very invested in this, right? Jeff, you're the one that turned me on to this.
Yeah.
When you hear that Allison Mack has now finally been sentenced, and I say finally because a lot of her victims have been waiting for this justice, did you think that this is what her conviction would have been?
When you first were reading, I was like, is that her sentiment, or is she trying to cut down her, right? Is she trying to cut down her charges? Does she really feel like that was the biggest mistake and regret it for life? Because she didn't look that way on the show. I'm not saying people can't change. She definitely can. It just, hey, if you testify against this guy, we're going to cut your time way down, and now you're coming out with these statements. Seems a little fishy to me. That's just my first observation.
When I watched that documentary, I was like, people and the brainwashing and everything that led up to all the different accusations that they were accused of and convicted of, I think that everybody needed to go to jail. So I can't feel any remorse. Even when you read her statement, I was trying to be like, oh man, you know, maybe she was a victim of kind of getting brainwashed. But I'm like, I think she deserves to go to jail also, even though she put the leader in jail behind bars also. She has like a lot of them have some mental health issues, in my opinion, that they have to deal with after going through that cult, after being brainwashed, and after spending so much time convincing other people that the cult was a good idea.
But you know, I feel the same way, but I'm worried that that same precedent could be used if there was like a pimp situation where he was using younger women to go out and recruit other younger women. You know what I'm saying? There's a way that the mastermind kind of sets everybody else up, but they never have any paraphernalia on them. They never have anything that they can really get in trouble for. It's really the people right underneath them. So that's what I would worry about with that. And I also wonder, like, how do you prove whether somebody's mental health is compromised? Because when somebody is in a cult, it seems like somebody that's normal, like Jeff, is just gone. And you're like, where's my friend? And I don't know, is that punishable by law? Does jail help? I don't know.
You know, I think you bring up a good point, but there still needs to be consequences.
Absolutely.
She could be a victim too, but she also victimized how many countless women? So there has to be consequences.
Men and women.
Yeah, men and women. Wow. Okay. So Kim Kardashian took some fashion risks while visiting, we're switching gears here, while visiting the Vatican in Italy. Kim showed up to the Holy City wearing a sheer off-the-shoulder lace dress with cutouts that exposed her midsection and back. The Vatican has a very strict dress code. If you've been there, it says that low-cut garments, shorts above the knee, and mini skirts are not permitted. But once inside, Kim did cover up with this black trench coat. Okay, so a lot of people are saying that this is outdated. I don't think so. When I went to Italy, every church I went into, they ask you to cover up. I did not take offense to that. I put a jacket on or a sweater, or I was mindful before I went in.
Well, when in Rome.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? When people are offended by other people's cultures and if this is outdated, it doesn't concern you. Cover up, that's what they want you to do. I was at the Vatican
and
with
Jeff, real quick, it is outdated. It's the beginning of recorded time.
Exactly.
So
let them do what they want. I wore shorts and I was turned away. I luckily had one more day. I visited all around and I went back the next day with pants on. Kim Kardashian knew she couldn't wear what she was wearing, so shame on Kim Kardashian in this aspect, trying to like test the waters, break that barrier. I don't like that. Listen, this is their rule. This is a different country. You know you can't show skin going in there. Why do you go there dressed like that?
Maybe she had her trench coat with her.
Listen, people told her you can't show skin, and she chose to walk in there like that. Now we're doing the story. Kim wins. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's really annoying. I agree with you because I think that she understands how to dress, and I understand like your midriff is out and all this stuff. And I'm somebody who's super extra. Like if it's an occasion, I'm dressing up for it. But like that ain't the occasion. It's just like you're going to the church. This is the Vatican City is a country that governs itself.
Yes.
They have their own rules. Jeff said he got kicked out for shorts above the knee. It's like going to any of these other countries.
I wasn't let in. You made it seem like I was
kicked out. My bad, Jeff. But I just think Kim wants attention, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I agree with you. But it's a long queue, a long line to get into that Vatican. I remember that line. Did you wait in that line and then got
for
turned
me,
away?
I just walked up and they told me I can't go in. There was no line, and I went back the next day and I went to mass. I was like in a service in there. Yeah, so For me, it's like, listen, you know you can't do that.
Right.
And we don't talk about you enough. You need to be in the news again.
Be respectful. I did, though, buy a gold cross from there, and they said it was solid gold. It was not.
I bought a bunch of stuff.
Still upset about that. Yeah,
Off the street?
Green. No,
Yeah, but
from the Vatican gift
I don't know
shop.
if we know where you bought
Why
that
is it
from.
on me? At the
How much
Vatican
did you pay
gift
for that?
shop? 80 euros?
It's gold plated then.
Solid gold
Yeah, come on,
cross
man.
for 80 euros.
Gift shop
It's going
talk.
for about $2,000 an ounce. So
I didn't know you were a gold.
I watch a lot of
That's so
Gold Rush.
specific.
Discovery's my
Gold,
jam.
Wow, expert over there. I'm still upset
I
about
thought it
my
was
green
solid
cross.
gold car for $80.
Well,
Shame on them.
they should disclose that it's
Gold plated?
Don't
copper.
Don't walk by
it turned
kiosks
green
in the
like
mall.
copper.
Stay away from
kiosks. It was at the actual Vatican gift shop.
So there's no one dubious?
Wow, what a word.
You went from a gold expert to a professor. Okay. All
That's
right.
what Big Jeff does.
All right, so shock jock Howard Stern is dividing his fan base. Howard just announced he will be taking the summer off and won't be returning to SiriusXM with new shows until September. But the thing is, he just signed a new deal, which is said to be worth $500 million. Some fans say he deserves the break. One tweeted, quote, "Love Howard Stern. The dude started at the bottom. If he wants the summer off, then he shall have it off." But other loyal listeners don't want to pay to listen to reruns and are threatening to cancel their subscriptions. Howard Stern taking the entire summer off is bull bleep, said one person. Should he be allowed to take a break? Or if you are paying specifically for his subscription and you don't want to listen to said repeat episodes, what do you do?
Sometimes I get subscriptions just for one show. You cancel it for the summer and get it back again. This man is a $500 million man for Sirius. That he could take the summer off. And I know people have been like, oh, maybe we could finesse. He could do shows on Monday. If I was a $500 million woman, I'm taking the summer probably extra off. Like, why not? Every time I speak, it's worth like $1,000. Every sentence. Like, why would I not take some time to myself to gather my thoughts that are so valuable?
All entertainers take time off. You think of sports, you think of entertainment, TV shows. There's always a hiatus, right? For things like this.
We don't have a hiatus.
We do. Yeah, we got a hiatus.
Right.
All right.
Tomato.
Our boss is standing right there, so I'm very respectful of the time we get off.
Sorry, I'm very appreciative. I'm just saying I'm just giving us some credit because we work really hard.
Yes,
But I mean,
we work really hard.
he's worked really hard for almost 30 years.
Oh, yeah,
Sam.
I'm not taking that
Like
away
he's
from
got a lot of people back and forth to work, and I think when you do sign up for the Howard Stern channel, I believe there's like 2 or 3 whole channels that are also committed to his reruns. He's got 20, 30 years of archives. So I do think you're really buying the Howard Stern package. I don't think you're just like a random person. Like, who's this Howard Stern person in 2021? You're a lifelong fan.
Well, he's the reason SiriusXM is on the map, right?
Absolutely.
I believe he's one of the, I don't know if he's the founder, but I know that he somehow got parts of that deal because he's the first entertainer that made SiriusXM. Remember, nobody knew what this was. Everyone was like, what?
He
Satellite
left
radio?
terrestrial radio.
Yes.
That was huge. He left, I believe it was K-Rock. I might be out of, but he left and he went to satellite radio, and everybody was like, well, I guess I'm getting satellite now.
Nobody paid for radio until or satellite, I should say, until it was Howard Stern. And just to be clear, he deserves a vacation. He has a family. He has a wife. He has kids. Come on now, you guys.
He's not.
We all deserve
mining
a vacation.
coal. Like he's sitting in a studio.
What?
I'm just saying he's not working that hard like he deserves.
You don't know what his day entails.
Recording from home.
Albert, so he doesn't deserve a vacation to be with his wife and kids?
Look, I'm just saying, I think their life is okay. I'm saying if you can negotiate that into your contract, do it. But I mean, you're acting like, He's using a jackhammer in the middle of the highway in
I
Florida.
never said he has a jackhammer in the side of the highway. Albert's just looking for a reason to argue.
I'm just
yes,
saying,
you are.
there are harder jobs in the world.
I never said there weren't.
Solid gold cross.
Coming up on DBL, a chilling true crime chronicles the story of a small town on edge for years as 8 murders remain unsolved. Are the families any closer to closure?
One of the big mysteries surrounding the coronavirus vaccine is how long immunity will last. Now, scientists say they have solved that mystery, and the news is good, at least for some. Let's connect the dots. The new results were just published in the journal Nature. Researchers believe mRNA vaccines could provide protection against COVID-19 for the long term. We are talking about the shots produced by Pfizer and Moderna. The study did not look at the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, but the lead researcher to the New York Times says he did not believe the immune response from that shot would be as durable. According to the findings, it looks like the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines created a persistent immune reaction in the body, an immunity that could last years. Researchers reported people who had those shots may not need to get a booster dose, as long as the virus doesn't evolve drastically from its current forms. Scientists also believe that the immunity provided by the vaccines is actually better than the immunity provided by getting infected with the coronavirus. That's because it is more diverse, meaning it will do a better job at fighting variants. But the best possible immunity appears to be people who are vaccinated and recovered from COVID. Their immunity could last a lifetime. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. In South Central Louisiana, a small town has been on edge for years. 8 young women, known as the Jennings Eight, were murdered over 4 years. No closure and no clues. Could police corruption be a reason why? Here's the story on DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
On the edge of Cajun country lies a small town, Jennings, Louisiana. It's a place that used to be known as quiet farmlands, but now the roads are a haunting reminder of the horrible things that happened there. It started in 2005. A decomposing body was found floating in a canal in town. It was 28-year-old Loretta Lewis. Less than a month later, another body was found in a different nearby canal. It was 30-year-old Ernestine Patterson. Her throat was slit and she was brutally murdered. Over the next 4 years, 6 more women were murdered. In 2007, Kristen Lopez and Whitney Dubois. In 2008, Laconia Brown, Crystal Zeno, and Brittany Gary. And in 2009, the last victim, Nicole Guillory. All of their bodies were dumped along rural roads and canals.
I think we have more than one killer here, and I think they all run in the same circle. I think somebody knows something, but they're scared to talk.
All 8 women knew each other. Some were related. Others were roommates. They all frequented the same bars and engaged in drugs and similar lifestyles. After local police failed to crack the case, the victims' families hired Kirk Menard to investigate.
You know, sometimes I wonder, are they any further along than what they were the first day they started?
For years, people living in the town speculated local police could be involved.
I think it's connected with the police because there's too many murders and you can't solve them, and it's steady going on, back to back to back. You mean how you not can catch this man?
The police department does have a questionable past. A police chief was caught stealing money and drugs in the evidence room. Deputy Warren, who was a chief criminal investigator, was caught purchasing a truck from an inmate and selling it for a profit. It's the same truck several witnesses reported seeing one of the murder victims in.
They're getting tons of information about specific cops and deputies and their involvement in these homicides.
Is it just a coincidence, or could police corruption play a role? Who murdered these 8 young, innocent women, and why?
And earlier, Tori and Lindsay spoke with a reporter who's working on this case. Take a look.
We are joined by investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein from WWL TV in New Orleans, Louisiana. First off, thank you for being here. 8 women, I can't believe I'm saying this, were murdered over 4 years, and their bodies were dumped on the side of a rural road. These killings were brutal. What, for you emotionally, has it been like covering this case since day one?
The task force was offering $85,000 reward. What was very emotionally difficult were the lack of answers. I spoke into the families of these victims. Some had hired private investigators. There seemed to be no progress in even generating viable leads in this tiny town. The bodies in 6 of the 8 cases had decomposed to such an extent that it made forensic evidence hard to find. In some cases, the cause of death could not be determined.
All of these women knew each other and they lived the same lifestyle. So there have been a few suspects, but no arrests. Where does the case stand today?
Tragically, all these years later, the case may be even further away from getting solved than it ever was, primarily due to the death of one key witness who knew all of these women. He was a drug addict, drug dealer, pimp, and he had connections to all 8 of the women. In fact, he was the last person to see a couple of them alive. His name is Frankie Richard, and he passed away in 2020. And buried with him are many, many answers to these burning questions. He had given interviews, including to me, admitting that he had pimped these women for drugs, prostituted them. That was the one sad common thread in the life and lifestyles of these 8 women.
Mike, I want to get to this point. There was some allegations of police misconduct in this case. And I just want to know, does that still stand true? And is there distrust in that sort of local, small town law enforcement with the community?
Well, I would say that echo of police involvement is probably as loud as it has ever been. For one, how do you have 8 killings in a 4-year span in a small town with both a local police department, sheriff's office, and now an FBI task force, and keep running into roadblocks, evidence that has disappeared?
So what's it like for people who still live in Jennings and can't escape the tragedy?
The people of the town are both distrustful of law enforcement and a little bit fearful. If you're able to, whoever was responsible for this, get away with 8 killings in a short period of time, successfully covered up, and now the trail has gone completely cold.
To learn more about this case, visit WWLTV.com. This story also is the subject of a new podcast episode. All you have to do is search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Mike, thank you for keeping these 8 women in the front and center of the public's attention. We really appreciate it. We'll be right back.
We all know that movement is like that.
If you've been priced out of the red-hot housing market, good news. Experts say the market may be starting to cool. Let's connect the dots. Houses are selling quickly right now, often for thousands above asking price. You can blame a big increase in demand and record low mortgage rates. But Realtor.com says things may be changing. New numbers show fewer buyers are applying for mortgages and price growth is slowing down. The chief economist for Moody's Analytics has some theories about what's going on. First, he says mortgage rates aren't going to stay this low forever. Once prices go up, housing prices will adjust as well. Also, more people are returning to work, meaning the demand for a perfect home office is going down. Even if home prices drop, experts are not expecting a catastrophe. Most do not believe this is a housing bubble, so they aren't expecting a crash like 2008. They say prices probably won't plummet. You might just have less competition when you make a bid. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. So for years, the Better Business Bureau has warned older adults and seniors to be cautious of scams as they were at highest risk. But now there's a new warning. The Federal Trade Commission says the younger generation is now at higher risk of being scammed compared to seniors, thanks to the digital world. Get this, 44% of people ages 20 to 29 have lost money to fraud or scams. That's actually more than double the amount of people ages 70, 79. On average, scammers steal about $150 from the younger population by tricking them with online shopping ads or sales. So if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. So, for instance, there's a store on, there's so many stores, right, when you go on Instagram or Facebook, and you think, oh, this top is so cute, $9.99. A lot of those, not all of them, but many of those are fraudulent.
I just bought some decorations for my Crocs. I know I'm corny for that.
Oh my God.
But just stop.
No, you did
but
not.
I think that I might
beat that sentence out.
I'm gonna read some comments about Kim K.
Wait, you did?
Yeah, we can't move
bought
on after
those
that.
little, like...
Yeah. Oh, yes, I bought some decorations for my Crocs, and I was scared that I was buying them from a scammer, but they were like $2 a piece. So I PayPal'd her $10, and I'm hoping that I get my...
You can't dig yourself out of this hole.
No.
I'll show you guys my Crocs when I decorate them. I'm a mom now, okay? I'm corny.
You can do whatever you want.
Next comes the visor. I almost bought a visor the other day, but I did not.
You do have one.
I do not have one.
A Von Dutch one?
Why do you
Never
want this
wore
Von
Von
Dutch?
Dutch. We'll be right back.
Chamomile tea, melatonin, warm milk. They're just some remedies people swear by to help them get to sleep. People on social media are now adding lettuce water to the list. The idea of the green leaf brew caused a stir on TikTok when Shapla 11 steeped a couple of leaves of lettuce in hot water. The London-based TikToker's video was so hot that it received more than 1 million likes. So let's verify. Is there evidence that proves lettuce tea helps people get to sleep? Our sources: studies published with the National Library of Medicine, a sleep doctor, and a medical herbalist. Several studies found that lettuce contains lacticarium, a natural chemical that helps people relax and induce sleep. Scientists put that to the test by feeding mice Lactica sativa, which is the scientific name for lettuce. After nibbling on the leafy green, scientists noticed that lettuce increased sleep in some of the mice. Medical herbalist Todd Caldecott explains that if you make an extract out of lettuce to make a tea, there's just not going to be enough of the active ingredient to put a person to sleep.
You're not going to extract very much of this lacticarium, the active ingredients, and there's not very much in there to start with. So I doubt that it will have an observable, objective sedative effect.
Sleep specialist Dr. Michael Breas adds that neither of the studies provides enough evidence that lettuce tea or lettuce water actually helps humans with sleep.
We've got two studies that I've been able to review, the 2017 study and the 2019 study. To be fair, those were done in rodent models. That's the only studies that I've read about lettuce. And I just don't feel that it's a compelling enough data to be able to say, hey, everybody, go out and do something like this.
So we can verify there is no evidence that proves lettuce tea or lettuce water help a person fall asleep. Just mice. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Want something?
DBL, a super dad shares his story of adopting 6 children with disabilities.
I knew if I was going to become a father, I wanted to take on the children that were least likely to be adopted.
How he's inspiring the LGBTQ community and beyond. That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we got, Lindsay?
Okay, a lot of people talking about Kim K. Jessica says, Kim is crazy for that outfit. Everything is so calculated for the Kardashians, so she knew what she was doing. And Elise says, Kim's outfit was fine. She respectfully wore that coat when she got inside. That's not respectfully. That's not even...
Lindsay, take your shoes off.
Because it's just so... I don't have a problem with the Kardashians, but I have a problem when they act annoying, like, I never got surgery, I don't know what you mean. I got these lip implants because I kissed somebody, they told me my lips. Like, I hate the nonsense that comes with it. Like, I didn't know I couldn't wear a crop top to the Vatican. Like,
you know.
Come on. You're in your 30s, you're late 30s.
Yes, you have to cover up. They don't let you show shoulder, too.
We just did the story.
Well, we never
Jeff, you're the only one on the panel that got kicked out of the Vatican before, so just please.
I didn't get kicked out.
With just short shorts. What were they, like the ones that the guys wear at the beach?
They were the Euro
Hashtag Jeff got kicked out.
He came off the beach.
Listen, don't pretend like you don't look at my buttocks when I walk away.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Will Bill Cosby be a free man? The shocking turn of events in court today. Could the condo collapse in Florida have been prevented? The serious structural damage that was known about for years. In today's True Crime Chronicles, a small town on edge for years as 8 murders remain unsolved.
I think we have more than one killer here, and I think they all run in the same circle.
Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. And Kim Kardashian pushes dress code limits at the Vatican, but did she break protocol?
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2,
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, June 30th. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Al, and Lindsay. Let's get started. So big news to start the show. Bill Cosby is about to be a free man. A Pennsylvania State Supreme Court has just overturned his sexual assault conviction. Now, the court looked at two aspects of Cosby's case. The first involved the judge's decision to let prosecutors call 5 other accusers. And the other found that Cosby's agreement with a former DA prevented him from being criminally charged. Cosby, who is 83, was convicted of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault back in 2018. And also was deemed a, quote, if you remember, by the court, a sexually violent predator. At the time of our taping, it's been reported that Cosby could be out of prison in a matter of hours. So we have many questions. For more on this, we are joined by former prosecutor and civil rights attorney Maria Banjo. Maria, thank you for joining us. Please help us understand what's going on here. How is it that Bill Cosby is getting out of prison? And for the viewers out there who, it's been a few years, so please just don't assume that that everyone knows all the details. So break it down for us.
Thank you for having me. At the end of the day, what is at stake here is a huge, huge undertaking. What happened was, back when the prosecutor initially made an assessment of the case, he had given a promise not to prosecute Bill Cosby if he cooperated with the civil case. And in that situation, because of that, Cosby relied upon that promise and gave up his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. And in those situations, that is particularly why the court not only vacated the prior conviction, but actually barred any future prosecution against Bill Cosby. Specifically, he was now being discharged officially. I think what we have here is a balancing of the Fifth Amendment right that everyone is afforded here who's charged with a criminal crime against public interest in seeing justice done. And what I think we can take away from this particular opinion is that the court takes the Fifth Amendment right very seriously and are holding prosecutors to the promises that they make to those accused of crimes.
Yeah, and I remember reporting on this years back, right? I remember hearing, because when he did do this deposition, he incriminated himself. He said, you know, X, Y, and Z in so many words that he had drugged women. And now here we are, and you would think that even though it was used in the recent case in 2018 as to incriminate him, here it is now allowing him to be a free man. So let's talk about this deal, right, that he had with the former DA. How common are deals like this? And why would a DA agree to forego a criminal case for a civil one like this? And why is this now coming out now? Why didn't we foresee this back in 2018?
It's actually pretty common for there to be some sort of deals. However, what's important to note is that they must be victim-centered. You know, going through a whole trial is very taxing and can have a great negative impact on the mental health of victims. So frequently, prosecutors would take that into consideration when deciding to forego a criminal prosecution, especially if the particular victim harmed is seeking other ways to realize justice. However, in this particular case, as you all know, it occurred prior to the Me Too era. It occurred during a time where women were not trusted, women were not believed, and their concerns were not taken seriously. So is it common for this kind of a deal to be made? I hope not, but I'm not entirely surprised. I am not surprised as well as far as the opinion. I think that they probably anticipated this. I think a lot of times people go into, especially prosecutors, go into cases knowing it's an uphill battle, and they're going to do everything they can to obtain justice for the victim that they're serving. And in this particular case, they were not able to get long-lasting justice.
And I want to ask you, what about the women who say Bill Cosby drugged and sexually assaulted them? Will they ever get a chance to see justice now?
It does not appear so. Specifically, they use the word barred. The court has barred the prosecution's to now seek justice. It's my understanding that only one of his prior victims were still within the statute of limitations, and that was the one that they determined has now been barred. So barring any additional appeals, legal appeals made to the courts, I do not believe that they are going to be able to seek the kind of justice they've been looking for as far as in custody confinement by Bill Cosby.
So, in your opinion, what are the chances that 83-year-old Bill Cosby will sleep in his own bed tonight, for one, or will ever see prison again?
It is a great likelihood that he will probably be back in his home as soon as they can.
We're having some technical difficulties. Maria, thank you for your time. We really appreciate you clarifying. We have so many questions. Thank you for helping us understand. What are we feeling? What are you feeling right now?
Sad that I'm not shocked. I'm a little disappointed in myself for thinking that we would see justice really for anybody long term. We just don't see it for people that have money. It seems like with our criminal justice system, the one thing that does matter, almost over the color of your skin, is if you have money. And when people have money, and especially if the victims do not, I rarely see any kind of justice that I'm satisfied with.
I think it will be remiss to mention that there are people in this country that still have not let go of the idea that Bill Cosby was an idol and a father to them and all these kind of things. And even though there were 60 accusations that I respect and listen to of these women, there are a bunch of people that are saying this now kind of helps them feel validated that he's not in jail anymore, and had these conversations because they were constantly having the black man as the poster child when they do something wrong. So Roman Polanski, for example, is another person that abused and sexually assaulted 13-year-old, and he fled to France and has never been brought back. We have Woody Allen and all these other people that are in similar roles as Bill Cosby that have never faced anything close to what Bill Cosby has faced and is facing. And so I do agree that he deserves the time for anything that he did and has went under this, but I think there's a sentiment, and I'm seeing all over Twitter, of people who are not even of color or just men or whatever, and I, again, stand with the people who are survivors, but I do think that there's a sentiment that people are standing here saying they're tired of the black person being the poster child instead of everyone. And so maybe this is accountability time to go after all those rich people who have done similar things, and time to reel them all in and maybe start actually making the justice system work the same for everybody, like we always talk about.
Wow, great conversation. Coming up on DBL, the search for answers continues in that condo collapse in Florida. Could it have all been prevented? We're talking to a civil engineer who's been on the scene investigating, and Howard Stern fans are outraged after he announced he's taking the summer off. Why, they say now is not the time for a vacation. Plus, a warning from Dr. Fauci about vaccination rates, what he's saying about the divide in America as the Delta variant spreads.
Closed captioning provided by
One of the big mysteries surrounding the coronavirus vaccine is how long immunity will last. Now, scientists say they have solved that mystery, and the news is good, at least for some. Let's connect the dots. The new results were just published in the journal Nature. Researchers believe mRNA vaccines could provide protection against COVID-19 for the long term. We are talking about the shots produced by Pfizer and Moderna. The study did not look at the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, but the lead researcher to the New York Times says he did not believe the immune response from that shot would be as durable. According to the findings, it looks like the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines created a persistent immune reaction in the body, an immunity that could last years. Researchers reported people who had those shots may not need to get a booster dose, as long as the virus doesn't evolve drastically from its current forms. Scientists also believe that the immunity provided by the vaccines is actually better than the immunity provided by getting infected with the coronavirus. That's because it is more diverse, meaning it will do a better job at fighting variants. But the best possible immunity appears to be people who are vaccinated and recovered from COVID. Their immunity could last a lifetime. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. It's been almost a week since the Florida condo came crashing down, and there still hasn't been anyone pulled out alive from the rubble since hours after it collapsed last Thursday. At the time of our taping, 145 people are still unaccounted for. Today, we're getting a look at a letter that was sent from the board president to condo residents back in April. It describes the decay of the building, saying, quote, concrete damage observed would begin to multiply exponentially, and observable damage, such as in the garage, has gotten significantly worse. Now, the board reportedly wanted residents to help pay for the $15 million in repair to the building. And as we mentioned yesterday, a lot of people are focusing in on the pool area as a possible weak point that caused the collapse. But there are other possible theories. Some experts think this giant shock test that the Navy conducted off the coast of Florida, which registered as a 3.9 magnitude earthquake, could have contributed to the collapse. Area residents also complained about a development project next door, which they said regularly caused the building to shake. So joining us now is Alan Kilsheimer, a world-renowned civil engineer who's been hired to investigate this very collapse. Alan, thank you for being here despite the horrific circumstances. What are you looking at here as a possible reason that this building collapsed?
Well, let me start by saying I'm a structural engineer, not a civil engineer, but leave that aside. The way we investigate failures like this is we come up in our minds with all the potential possible causes we can think of. And then based on information we get, develop, test, computer programs we run, engineering analysis we do, we try to eliminate them one at a time. Sometimes the list gets longer and sometimes the list gets smaller. And when we have completed all these investigations that we need to be doing, we sometimes, usually when the trigger event is like a bomb or a hurricane or something like that, or a plane, we know what the trigger event was. In this case, we don't know what the trigger event was. So we're trying to figure out what the trigger event might be or trigger events. And then you look at the various systems in the building to try and see if they weren't perfect. And in my 63 years of doing this, there's never been a perfect building. And there are always little things that are wrong with it. So then you look at these things that might have been wrong and you say, if that trigger occurred, and that particular thing would have been perfect, then maybe it wouldn't have come down. And so you go through that, but in the very end, you probably will have several possibilities of why this thing came down, and you won't be able to get it past that point. But I don't know whether we're going to be at that point or not.
Well, you know, a lot has been made of this 2018 engineering report that recommended millions of dollars in repairs. As a structural engineer, if you saw that report, would you have been worried that the building was in danger of collapsing?
Well, first thing, remember, I'm a structural engineer, so theoretically, I understand what that report says, right? And based on what I, as a structural engineer, would understand that says, no, that would not give me any indication that the building was in any danger of collapse.
Let's talk about the sister building. If you lived in one of them, would you feel comfortable living there right now?
Well, I'm going to answer that again from a structural engineering standpoint. If I lived in the building and I was not a structural engineer, I would say, gee, maybe I should be a little worried about this, right? But at the same time, one of the things I've been doing is looking at the drawings for the north building and the east building, beginning to understand some of those buildings too. And as I sit here today, I see nothing that tells me that either of those buildings is in imminent danger of structural collapse.
Now, across the country, a lot of people who live in high-rises right now are worried. So what advice do you have for them? Should they be looking for somewhere else that they think is safer, or is this just a Florida issue? How do you feel about that?
I don't think you draw what is it called, the food with the garbage or something. I think this is most probably, and again, I have 60 some odd years experience in doing this, and I've investigated probably 50 to 100 collapses. I think this is a one-off for this kind of issue, whatever this issue is. I certainly wouldn't be concerned with other buildings unless there was somebody found a structural design problem or a structural construction problem, and then they evaluated and determined if there was a problem. So no, I certainly wouldn't. I would tell those people, don't worry, because if you don't know something for sure, and you can't listen to all these experts that really aren't experts, that don't, they just, some people like to scare people, right? Right. So no, I wouldn't be concerned. And I don't live in a house. I live in a house, not a high rise, but I've never lived in a high rise. But our firm has designed several hundred of them. And, while we make mistakes and we design, we almost always catch the mistakes before they're a problem. And while buildings are built, there's always a little bit of a problem with a building when it's being built. They don't get everything perfectly, but usually you catch them. And then there's, I always say buildings talk to you if you know how to listen to them. So the key is getting folks that know how to listen to buildings talking to them to understand.
Alan, thank you. We have run out of time. We really appreciate you for clarifying and for joining us on DBL. Good luck getting to the bottom of this. We hope that people can have answers. I know a lot of the people out there are just in pure anguish, but they are in good hands, in your hands. We'll be right back.
If you've been priced out of the red-hot housing market, good news. Experts say the market may be starting to cool. Let's connect the dots. Houses are selling quickly right now, often for thousands above asking price. You can blame a big increase in demand and record low mortgage rates. But Realtor.com says things may be changing. New numbers show fewer buyers are applying for mortgages and price growth is slowing down. The chief economist for Moody's Analytics has some theories about what's going on. First, he says mortgage rates aren't going to stay this low forever. Once prices go up, housing prices will adjust as well. Also, more people are returning to work, meaning the demand for a perfect home office is going down. Even if home prices drop, experts are not expecting a catastrophe. Most do not believe this is a housing bubble, so they aren't expecting a crash like 2008. They say prices probably won't plummet. You might just have less competition when you make a bid. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. With this new, more contagious Delta variant now accounting for more than a quarter of COVID cases, Dr. Fauci is out with a warning. Here's what he said on CNN last night.
What you are going to see among under-vaccinated regions, be they states, cities, or counties, you're going to see these individual types of blips. It's almost like it's going to be two Americas. You're going to have areas where the vaccine rate is high, where there's more than 70% of the population has received at least one dose. When you compare that with areas where you may have 35% of the people vaccinated, you clearly have a high risk of seeing these spikes in those selected areas.
Wow. So what do you think of the idea of two Americas, one with low vaccination rates and COVID cases spiking again, and the other where enough people got the vaccine to keep COVID cases down? So this is clearly going to depend on where you live. Terrifying. Does it impact the way you would travel?
I don't know if it's terrifying. I think it's truthful. I think we are in two Americas, whether it be on the vaccine, whether it be politically, whether it be socially. We're divided, and that's just the way it is. So we have to deal with what we have to deal with now. The people who aren't vaccinated are not going to get vaccinated. No incentive is going to get them vaccinated. They've made up their minds, and that's fine. I've chosen to be vaccinated. I'm 88% protected against this new Delta variant. I feel very comfortable. I feel very comfortable going to the store, going to sporting events. I feel comfortable. So the people who don't or aren't vaccinated are the ones that should be worried. And I feel most for people who are asymptomatic, right? That could get this disease and it could kill them. If I was vaccinated and I had a child that was asymptomatic or immunocompromised, that's what I meant to say, I'm sorry, I would be mad. I would be furious. But right now, that isn't my position, and I feel comfortable where I'm at walking in my shoes.
And I think it's turned into like this individualistic thing where like I'm vaccinated, you're not. And we're going to have people that can't get vaccinated for medical reasons, even though the number is small. We're going to have people who can't get vaccinated for religious reasons that we have to respect. And so I think when we start to walk around and say, okay, I'm vaccinated, you're not, it's going to create this divide that some people didn't even ask for. It's just the way that they were born or the way that they were born into this religion. And so I think we have to be careful about just saying who got vaccinated and who didn't, and starting to pick people out and make people show their passport vaccination cards.
Segregate them in some sort of sense.
Right, and I know that it might be a requirement for travel or school, but I just feel like it's creating like a really uncomfortable environment for a lot of people.
I think the reason why it creates an uncomfortable environment, and I'm not talking about religious people or autoimmune compromised individuals.
Right.
That's why we want herd immunity, to protect those people.
Right.
That's the goal. It's the people out there that are watching YouTube conspiracy theory videos, that are reading clickbait, sensational, controversial headlines that have zero substance to them, pure misinformation, that infuriates me, as my brother-in-law is still in the hospital going on 7 months with COVID complications. And I know I'm not alone, because I've had viewers reach out to me saying that 2 weeks ago, their loved one's on a ventilator. 6 weeks ago, there's another viewer, day 47, her father, 52 years old, is still on a ventilator for COVID complications today.
Right. Well, perception is reality. And no matter how you feel about those videos, those people feel just as seriously that they are true and they are living their truth. And what's going to happen, because you feel the way you do and they feel the way they do, it's just human beings will naturally separate. There will be areas that have higher spike rates, like Dr. Fauci was saying, and that's going to create almost a natural isolation with certain areas. And the people that are there are going to kind of buy into that because that's how they feel. And the people that would not take their family there on vacation, should that COVID rate spike, will be people like you. So it will naturally take care of itself. But it is what it is, and we cannot stop that.
Wow. All right. Well, we will be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by...
It's so easy.
Chamomile tea, melatonin, warm milk. They're just some remedies people swear by to help them get to sleep. People on social media are now adding lettuce water to the list. The idea of the green leaf brew caused a stir on TikTok when Shapla 11 steeped a couple of leaves of lettuce in hot water. The London-based TikToker's video was so hot that it received more than 1 million likes. So let's verify. Is there evidence that proves lettuce tea helps people get to sleep? Our sources: studies published with the National Library of Medicine, a sleep doctor, and a medical herbalist. Several studies found that lettuce contains lacticarium, a natural chemical that helps people relax and induce sleep. Scientists put that to the test by feeding mice Lactica sativa, which is the scientific name for lettuce. After nibbling on the leafy green, scientists noticed that lettuce increased sleep in some of the mice. Medical herbalist Todd Caldecott explains that if you make an extract out of lettuce to make a tea, there's just not going to be enough of the active ingredient to put a person to sleep.
You're not going to extract very much of this lacticarium, the active ingredients, and there's not very much in there to start with. So I doubt that it will have an observable, objective sedative effect.
Sleep specialist Dr. Michael Breas adds that neither of the studies provides enough evidence that lettuce tea or lettuce water actually helps humans with sleep.
we've got 2 studies that I've been able to review, the 2017 study and the 2019 study. To be fair, those were done in rodent models. That's the only studies that I've read about lettuce. And I just don't feel that it's a compelling enough data to be able to say, hey, everybody, go out and do something like this.
So we can verify there is no evidence that proves lettuce tea or lettuce water help a person fall asleep. Just mice. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Want something? If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube, chat with other viewers, leave your comments, and be a part of our DBL Nation. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Howard Stern is getting backlash for taking a vacation. Is it well-deserved, or do his fans deserve an explanation? And former Smallville star Allison Mack gets sentenced for her involvement in the NXIVM sex cult. How much time will she spend in prison?
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam, here with my friends Jeff, Al, and Lindsay. Let's get started. A really important story. A lot of us have been invested in this one. Former Smallville actress Allison Mack has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for her role in the NXIVM sex cult. Allison was a high-ranking member of the group where women were
branded with leader Keith Raniere's initials, and were directed to have sex with him. Allison testified against Keith and provided evidence that helped prosecutors convict him of racketeering. During her sentencing hearing, Allison called her time in the cult, quote, the biggest mistake and regret of my life. Now, NXIVM was the subject of an HBO documentary. Keith is currently serving 120 years in prison. Now, we were all very invested in this, right? Jeff, you're the one that turned me on to this.
Yeah.
When you hear that Allison Mack has now finally been sentenced, and I say finally because a lot of her victims have been waiting for this justice, did you think that this is what her conviction would have been?
When you first were reading, I was like, is that her sentiment, or is she trying to cut down her, right? Is she trying to cut down her charges? Does she really feel like that was the biggest mistake and regret it for life? Because she didn't look that way on the show. I'm not saying people can't change. She definitely can. It just, hey, if you testify against this guy, we're going to cut your time way down, and now you're coming out with these statements. Seems a little fishy to me. That's just my first observation.
When I watched that documentary, I was like, people and the brainwashing and everything that led up to all the different accusations that they were accused of and convicted of, I think that everybody needed to go to jail. So I can't feel any remorse. Even when you read her statement, I was trying to be like, oh man, you know, maybe she was a victim of kind of getting brainwashed. But I'm like, I think she deserves to go to jail also, even though she put the leader in jail behind bars also. She has like a lot of them have some mental health issues, in my opinion, that they have to deal with after going through that cult, after being brainwashed, and after spending so much time convincing other people that the cult was a good idea.
But you know, I feel the same way, but I'm worried that that same precedent could be used if there was like a pimp situation where he was using younger women to go out and recruit other younger women. You know what I'm saying? There's a way that the mastermind kind of sets everybody else up, but they never have any paraphernalia on them. They never have anything that they can really get in trouble for. It's really the people right underneath them. So that's what I would worry about with that. And I also wonder, like, how do you prove whether somebody's mental health is compromised? Because when somebody is in a cult, it seems like somebody is normal, like Jeff, is just gone. And you're like, where's my friend? And I don't know, is that punishable by law? Does jail help? I don't know.
You know, I think you bring up a good point, but there still needs to be consequences.
Absolutely.
She could be a victim too, but she also victimized how many countless women? So there has to be consequences.
Men and women.
Yeah, men and women. Wow. Okay. So Kim Kardashian took some fashion risks while visiting. We're switching gears here. While visiting the Vatican in Italy, Kim showed up to the Holy City wearing a sheer off-the-shoulder lace dress with cutouts that exposed her midsection and back. The Vatican has a very strict dress code. If you've been there, it says that low-cut garments, shorts above the knee, and mini skirts are not permitted. But once inside, Kim did cover up with this black trench coat. Okay, so a lot of people are saying that this is outdated. I don't think so. When I went to Italy, every church I went into, they ask you to cover up. I did not take offense to that. I put a jacket on or a sweater, or I was mindful before I went in.
Well, when in Rome.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? When people are offended by other people's cultures and if this is outdated, it doesn't concern you. Cover up, that's what they want you to do. I was at the Vatican
and
with
Jeff, real quick, it is outdated. It's the beginning of recorded time.
Exactly. So let them do what they want. I wore shorts and I was turned away. I luckily had one more day. I visited all around and I went back the next day with pants on. Kim Kardashian knew she couldn't wear what she was wearing, so shame on Kim Kardashian in this aspect, trying to like test the waters, break that barrier. I don't like that. Listen, this is their rule. This is a different country. You know you can't show skin going in there. Why do you go there dressed like that?
Maybe she had her trench coat with her.
Listen, people told her you can't show skin, and she chose to walk in there like that. Now we're doing the story. Kim wins. I don't like that. You know
I think it's really annoying. I agree with you because I think that she understands how to dress, and I understand like your midriff is out and all this stuff. And I'm somebody who's super extra. Like if it's an occasion, I'm dressing up for it. But like that ain't the occasion. It's just like you're going to the church. This is the Vatican City is a country that governs itself.
Yes.
They have their own rules. Jeff said he got kicked out for shorts above the knee. It's like going to any of these other countries.
I wasn't let in. You made it seem like I was
kicked out. My bad, Jeff. But I just think Kim wants attention, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I agree with you. But it's a long queue, a long line to get into that Vatican. I remember that line. Did you wait in that line and then got
for me,
away?
I just walked up and they told me I can't go in. There was no line, and I went back the next day and I went to mass. I was like in a service in there. Yeah. So.
Wow.
For me, it's like, listen, you know you can't do that.
Right.
And we don't talk about you enough. You need to be in the news again.
Be respectful. I did, though, buy a gold cross from there, and they said it was solid gold. It was not.
I bought a bunch of stuff.
Still upset about that. Yeah,
off the
turned
street?
Green. No,
Yeah, but
from the Vatican gift
I don't know
shop.
if we know where you bought
Why
that
is it
from.
on me? At the
How much did
Vatican
you pay
gift
for that?
shop? 80 euros.
It's gold plated.
A solid gold cross for 80 euros.
Gift shop
it's going for about $2,000 an ounce.
What?
So
I didn't know you were gold.
I watch a lot of
That's
Gold
so
Rush.
specific.
Discovery's my jam.
Wow, expert over there. I'm still upset
I
about
thought
my
it was
green
solid
cross.
gold car for $80.
Well,
shame on them.
They should disclose that it's
gold plated.
Don't
copper.
Don't walk by
it turned
kiosks
green
in the
like
mall.
copper.
Stay away from
kiosks. It was at the actual Vatican gift shop.
So there's no one dubious in.
Wow, what a word.
You went from a gold expert to a professor. Okay.
That's what Big Jeff does.
All right, so shock jock Howard Stern is dividing his fan base. Howard just announced he will be taking the summer off and won't be returning to SiriusXM with new shows until September. But the thing is, he just signed a new deal, which is said to be worth $500 million. Some fans say he deserves the break. One tweeted, quote, "Love Howard Stern. The dude started at the bottom. If he wants the summer off, then he shall have it off." But other loyal listeners don't want to pay to listen to reruns and are threatening to cancel their subscriptions. Howard Stern taking the entire summer off is bull bleep, said one person. Should he be allowed to take a break? Or if you are paying specifically for his subscription and you don't want to listen to said repeat episodes, what do you do?
Sometimes I get subscriptions just for one show. You cancel it for the summer and get it back again. This man is a $500 million man for Sirius. That he could take the summer off. And I know people have been like, oh, maybe we could finesse. He could do shows on Monday. If I was a $500 million woman, I'm taking the summer probably extra off. Like, why not? Every time I speak, it's worth like $1,000. Every sentence. Like, why would I not take some time to myself to gather my thoughts that are so valuable?
All entertainers take time off. You think of sports, you think of entertainment, TV shows. There's always a hiatus, right? For things like this.
We don't have a hiatus.
We do. Yeah, we got a hiatus.
Right.
All right.
Tomato.
Our boss is standing right there, so I'm very respectful of the time we get off.
Sorry, I'm very appreciative. I'm just saying I'm just giving us some credit because we work really hard.
Yes,
over
But I mean,
we work really hard.
he's worked really hard for almost 30 years.
Oh, yeah,
Sam.
I'm not taking that
Like
away
he's
from
gotten a lot of people back and forth to work, and I think when you do sign up for the Howard Stern channel, I believe there's like 2 or 3 whole channels that are also committed to his reruns. He's got 20, 30 years of archives. So I do think that you're really buying the Howard Stern package. I don't think you're just like a random person. Like, who's this Howard Stern person in 2021? You're a lifelong fan.
Well, he's the reason SiriusXM is on the map, right?
Absolutely.
I believe he's one of the, I don't know if he's the founder, but I know that he somehow got parts of that deal because he's the first entertainer that made SiriusXM. Remember, nobody knew what this was. Everyone was like, what?
He
Satellite
left
radio?
terrestrial radio.
Yes.
That was huge. He left, I believe it was K-Rock. I might be out of, but he left and he went to satellite radio, and everybody was like, well, I guess I'm getting satellite now.
Nobody paid for radio until or satellite, I should say, until it was Howard Stern. And just to be clear, he deserves a vacation. He has a family. He has a wife. He has kids. Come on now, you guys.
He's not.
We all deserve
mining
a vacation.
coal. Like, he's sitting in a studio.
What?
I'm just saying he's not working that hard like he deserves.
You don't know what his day entails.
Recording from home.
Albert, so he doesn't deserve a vacation to be with his wife and kids?
Look, I'm just saying, I think their life is okay. I'm saying if you can negotiate that into your contract, do it. But I mean, you're acting like, he's using a jackhammer in the middle of the highway in
I
Florida.
never said he has a jackhammer in the side of the highway. Albert's just looking for a reason to argue.
I'm just
yes,
saying,
you are.
there are harder jobs in the world.
I never said there weren't.
Solid gold cross.
Coming up on DBL, a chilling true crime chronicles the story of a small town on edge for years as 8 murders remain unsolved. Are the families any closer to closure?
Closed captioning provided by
One of the big mysteries surrounding the coronavirus vaccine is how long immunity will last. Now, scientists say they have solved that mystery, and the news is good, at least for some. Let's connect the dots. The new results were just published in the journal Nature. Researchers believe mRNA vaccines could provide protection against COVID-19 for the long term. We are talking about the shots produced by Pfizer and Moderna. The study did not look at the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, but the lead researcher to the New York Times says he did not believe the immune response from that shot would be as durable. According to the findings, it looks like the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines created a persistent immune reaction in the body, an immunity that could last years. Researchers reported people who had those shots may not need to get a booster dose, as long as the virus doesn't evolve drastically from its current forms. Scientists also believe that the immunity provided by the vaccines is actually better than the immunity provided by getting infected with the coronavirus. That's because it is more diverse, meaning it will do a better job at fighting variants. But the best possible immunity appears to be people who are vaccinated and recovered from COVID. Their immunity could last a lifetime. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. In South Central Louisiana, a small town has been on edge for years. 8 young women, known as the Jennings Eight, were murdered over 4 years. No closure and no clues. Could police corruption be a reason why? Here's the story on DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
On the edge of Cajun country lies a small town, Jennings, Louisiana. It's a place that used to be known as quiet farmlands, but now the roads are a haunting reminder of the horrible things that happened there. It started in 2005. A decomposing body was found floating in a canal in town. It was 28-year-old Loretta Lewis. Less than a month later, another body was found in a different nearby canal. It was 30-year-old Ernestine Patterson. Her throat was slit and she was brutally murdered. Over the next 4 years, 6 more women were murdered. In 2007, Kristen Lopez and Whitney Dubois. In 2008, Laconia Brown, Crystal Zeno, and Brittany Gary. And in 2009, the last victim, Nicole Guillory. All of their bodies were dumped along rural roads and canals.
I think we have more than one killer here, and I think they all run in the same circle. I think somebody knows something, but they're scared to talk.
All 8 women knew each other. Some were related. Others were roommates. They all frequented the same bars and engaged in drugs and similar lifestyles. After local police failed to crack the case, the victims' families hired Kirk Menard to investigate.
You know, sometimes I wonder, are they any further along than what they were the first day they started?
For years, people living in the town speculated local police could be involved.
I think it's connected with the police because there's too many murders and you can't solve them, and it's steady going on, back to back to back. You mean how you not can catch this man?
The police department does have a questionable past. A police chief was caught stealing money and drugs in the evidence room. Deputy Warren, who was a chief criminal investigator, was caught purchasing a truck from an inmate and selling it for a profit. It's the same truck several witnesses reported seeing one of the murder victims in.
They're getting tons of information about specific cops and deputies and their involvement in these homicides.
Is it just a coincidence, or could police corruption play a role? Who murdered these 8 young, innocent women? and why?
And earlier, Tori and Lindsay spoke with a reporter who's working on this case. Take a look.
We are joined by investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein from WWL TV in New Orleans, Louisiana. First off, thank you for being here. 8 women, I can't believe I'm saying this, were murdered over 4 years, and their bodies were dumped on the side of a rural road. These killings were brutal. What, for you emotionally, has it been like covering this case since day one?
The task force was offering $85,000 reward. What was very emotionally difficult were the lack of answers. I spoke to the families of these victims. Some had hired private investigators. There seemed to be no progress in even generating viable leads in this tiny town. The bodies in 6 of the 8 cases had decomposed to such an extent that it made forensic evidence hard to find. In some cases, the cause of death could not be determined.
All of these women knew each other and they lived the same lifestyle. So there have been a few suspects, but no arrests. Where does the case stand today?
Tragically, all these years later, the case may be even further away from getting solved than it ever was, primarily due to the death of one key witness who knew all of these women. He was a drug addict, drug dealer, pimp, and he had connections to all 8 of the women. In fact, he was the last person to see a couple of them alive. His name is Frankie Richard, and he passed away in 2020. And buried with him are many, many answers to these burning questions. He had given interviews, including to me, admitting that he had pimped these women for drugs, prostituted them. That was the one sad common thread in the life and lifestyles of these 8 women.
Mike, I want to get to this point. There was some allegations of police misconduct in this case. And I just want to know, does that still stand true? And is there distrust in that sort of local, small town law enforcement with the community?
Well, I would say that echo of police involvement is probably as loud as it has ever been. For one, how do you have 8 killings in a 4-year span in a small town with both a local police department, sheriff's office, and now an FBI task force, and keep running into roadblocks, evidence that has disappeared?
So what's it like for people who still live in Jennings and can't escape the tragedy?
The people of the town are both distrustful of law enforcement and a little bit fearful. If you're able to, whoever was responsible for this, get away with 8 killings in a short period of time, successfully covered up, and now the trail has gone completely cold.
To learn more about this case, visit WWLTV.com. This story also is the subject of a new podcast episode. All you have to do is search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Mike, thank you for keeping these 8 women in the front and center of the public's attention. We really appreciate it. We'll be right back.
If you've been priced out of the red-hot housing market, good news. Experts say the market may be starting to cool. Let's connect the dots. Houses are selling quickly right now, often for thousands above asking price. You can blame a big increase in demand and record low mortgage rates. But Realtor.com says things may be changing. New numbers show fewer buyers are applying for mortgages and price growth is slowing down. The chief economist for Moody's Analytics has some theories about what's going on. First, he says mortgage rates aren't going to stay this low forever. Once prices go up, housing prices will adjust as well. Also, more people are returning to work, meaning the demand for a perfect home office is going down. Even if home prices drop, experts are not expecting a catastrophe. Most do not believe this is a housing bubble, so they aren't expecting a crash like 2008. They say prices probably won't plummet. You might just have less competition when you make a bid. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. So for years, the Better Business Bureau has warned older adults and seniors to be cautious of scams as they were at highest risk. But now there's a new warning. The Federal Trade Commission says the younger generation is now at higher risk of being scammed compared to seniors, thanks to the digital world. Get this, 44% of people ages 20 to 29 have lost money to fraud or scams. That's actually more than double the amount of people ages 70, 79. On average, scammers steal about $150 from the younger population by tricking them with online shopping ads or sales. So if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. So, for instance, there's a store on, there's so many stores, right, when you go on Instagram or Facebook, and you think, oh, this top is so cute, $9.99. A lot of those, not all of them, but many of those are fraudulent.
I just bought some decorations for my Crocs. I know I'm corny for that.
Oh my God.
But just stop.
No, you did
but
not.
I think that I might
beat that sentence out.
I'm gonna read some comments about Kim K.
Wait, you did?
Yeah, we can't
you
move
bought
on after
those
that.
little, like...
Yeah. Oh, yes, I bought some decorations for my Crocs, and I was scared that I was buying them from a scammer, but they were like $2 a piece. So I PayPal'd her $10, and I'm hoping that I get my...
You can't dig yourself out of this hole.
No.
I'll show you guys my Crocs when I decorate them. I'm a mom now, okay? I'm corny.
You can do whatever you want.
Next comes the visor. I almost bought a visor the other day, but I did not.
You do have one.
I do not have one.
A Von Dutch one?
Why do you
I
want this
never wore
Von
Von
Dutch?
Dutch. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. I'm Stephanie Jones with the week's top style and trending news. Thinking it might be time to upgrade your AirPod accessories? If you've got a few extra pennies lying around, then Chanel has got you covered. And what do Pharrell and the Avengers have in common? Find out in my What the Fashion moment of the week. It's Fashion Fix. First, let's talk about mum jeans. They're one of the hottest trends right now, and they're not your mama's mum jeans. Back in the 80s, these high-waisted, highly unflattering for the bum jeans could be found on mums as far as the eye could see, and eventually they became a punchline. But thanks to millennials, what goes around has come back around, and it's no laughing matter. The updated trend stays true to its roots with light denim washers and, of course, ultra-high waist. And you can also skip the hardware and opt for a ribbon closure instead, or really go for that vintage 80s and 90s look with a cinched and ruffled number like this one. And if you're really daring, how about these quarter panel denim darlings with a pair of Doc Martens to boot? Literally. It's nice knowing we can rely on the younger generations to make us feel cool about what we wore when it was considered, well, not cool. Next, we are loving this couture accessory, but heads up, it might live in the when I can afford this section of your vision board for a while. AirPods, earbuds, at this point, they're basically an extension of our bodies, and if you're not always looking for them, you're probably using them. But Chanel thinks that they aren't glamorous enough, so they just released this pearl rhinestone and leather carrying case that'll set you back a little over $2,600. A girl can dream, right? And if you're still shopping, Chanel's got plenty more bejeweled, bedazzled, and budget-busting AirPod accessories that you can choose from. And finally, sink your teeth into this one, DBL Nation. It's my What the Fashion moment of the week. So how can you not love Pharrell Williams? He's got the music, the looks, the nice guy vibe, and now he's also the proud owner of a new grill. We're not talking about the kind that's in your backyard. Pharrell's got a brand new custom-made 22-karat gold, diamond, ruby, sapphire, and emerald encrusted mouthpiece. Translation, he's got a mouthful of money, $100,000 worth. The custom grill took 6 months to create, including the time it took to source some of the rare stones that are included in the design. But what's most striking is its resemblance to the Infinity Stones that caused such a ruckus in the Avengers. If anything, Pharrell is my new hero for having the stones to rock those stones. That's it for your fashion fix. I'll see you around next time.
A super dad shares his story of adopting 6 children with disabilities.
I knew if I was going to become a father, I wanted to take on the children that were least likely to be adopted.
How he's inspiring the LGBTQ community and beyond. That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we got, Lindsay?
Okay, a lot of people talking about Kim K. Jessica says, Kim is crazy for that outfit. Everything is so calculated for the Kardashians, so she knew what she was doing. And Elise says, Kim's outfit was fine. She respectfully wore that coat when she got inside. That's not respectfully. That's not even...
Lindsay,
take your shoes off.
Because it's just so... I don't have a problem with the Kardashians, but I have a problem when they act annoying, like, I never got surgery, I don't know what you mean. I got these lip implants because I kissed somebody, they told me my lips. Like, I hate the nonsense that comes with it. Like, I didn't know I couldn't wear a crop top to the Vatican. Like,
you know.
Come on. You're in your 30s, you're late 30s.
Yes, you have to cover up. They don't let you show shoulder, too.
We just did the story.
Well, we never
Jeff, you're the only one on the panel that got kicked out of the Vatican before, so just please.
I didn't get kicked out.
With just short shorts. What were they, like the ones that the guys wear at the beach?
They were the Euro
Hashtag Jeff got kicked out.
He came off the beach.
Listen, don't pretend like you don't look at my buttocks when I walk away.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Will Bill Cosby be a free man? The shocking turn of events in court today. Could the condo collapse in Florida have been prevented? The serious structural damage that was known about for years. In today's True Crime Chronicles, a small town on edge for years as 8 murders remain unsolved.
I think we have more than one killer here, and I think they all run in the same circle.
Don't miss this all-new True Crime Chronicles. And Kim Kardashian pushes dress code limits at the Vatican, but did she break protocol?
Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, June 30th. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Al, and Lindsay. Let's get started. So big news to start the show. Bill Cosby is about to be a free man. A Pennsylvania State Supreme Court has just overturned his sexual assault conviction. Now, the court looked at 2 aspects of Cosby's case. The first involved the judge's decision to let prosecutors call 5 other accusers. And the other found that Cosby's agreement with a former DA prevented him from being criminally charged. Cosby, who is 83, was convicted of 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault back in 2018. And also was deemed a, quote, if you remember, by the court, a sexually violent predator. At the time of our taping, it's been reported that Cosby could be out of prison in a matter of hours. So we have many questions. For more on this, we are joined by former prosecutor and civil rights attorney Maria Banjo. Maria, thank you for joining us. Please help us understand what's going on here. How is it that Bill Cosby is getting out of prison? And for the viewers out there who, it's been a few years, so please just don't assume that that everyone knows all the details. So break it down for us.
Thank you for having me. At the end of the day, what is at stake here is a huge, huge undertaking. What happened was, back when the prosecutor initially made an assessment of the case, he had given a promise not to prosecute Bill Cosby if he cooperated with the civil case. And in that situation, because of that, Cosby relied upon that promise and gave up his Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. And in those situations, that is particularly why the court not only vacated the prior conviction, but actually barred any future prosecution against Bill Cosby. Specifically, he was now being discharged officially. I think what we have here is a balancing of the Fifth Amendment right that everyone is afforded here who's charged with a criminal crime against public interest in seeing justice done. And what I think we can take away from this particular opinion is that the court takes the Fifth Amendment right very seriously and are holding prosecutors to the promises that they make to those accused of crimes.
Yeah, and I remember reporting on this years back, right? I remember hearing, because when he did do this deposition, he incriminated himself. He said, you know, X, Y, and Z in so many words that he had drugged women. And now here we are, and you would think that even though it was used in the recent case in 2018 as to incriminate him, here it is now allowing him to be a free man. So let's talk about this deal, right, that he had with the former DA. How common are deals like this? And why would a DA agree to forego a criminal case for a civil one like this? And why is this now coming out now? Why didn't we foresee this back in 2018?
It's actually pretty common for there to be some sort of deals. However, what's important to note is that they must be victim-centered. You know, going through a whole trial is very taxing and can have a great negative impact on the mental health of victims. So frequently, prosecutors would take that into consideration when deciding to forego a criminal prosecution, especially if the particular victim harmed is seeking other ways to realize justice. However, in this particular case, as you all know, it occurred prior to the Me Too era. It occurred during a time where women were not trusted, women were not believed, and their concerns were not taken seriously. So is it common for this kind of a deal to be made? I hope not, but I'm not entirely surprised. I am not surprised as well as far as the opinion. I think that anticipated this. I think a lot of times people go into, especially prosecutors, go into cases knowing it's an uphill battle, and they're going to do everything they can to obtain justice for the victim that they're serving. And in this particular case, they were not able to get long-lasting justice.
And I want to ask you, what about the women who say Bill Cosby drugged and sexually assaulted them? Will they ever get a chance to see justice now?
It does not appear so. Specifically, they use the word barred. The court has barred the prosecutions to now seek justice. It's my understanding that only one of his prior victims were still within the statute of limitations, and that was the one that they determined has now been barred. So barring any additional appeals, legal appeals made to the courts, I do not believe that they are going to be able to seek the kind of justice they're looking for as far as in custody confinement by Bill Cosby.
So, in your opinion, what are the chances that 83-year-old Bill Cosby will sleep in his own bed tonight, for one, or will ever see prison again?
It is a great likelihood that he will probably be back in his home as soon as they can.
We're having some technical difficulties. Maria, thank you for your time. We really appreciate you clarifying. We have so many questions. Thank you for helping us understand. What are we feeling? What are you feeling right now?
Sad that I'm not shocked. I'm a little disappointed in myself for thinking that we would see justice really for anybody long term. We just don't see it for people that have money. It seems like with our criminal justice system, the one thing that does matter, almost over the color of your skin, is if you have money. And when people have money, and especially if the victims do not, I rarely see any kind of justice that I'm satisfied with.
I think it will be remiss to mention that there are people in this country that still have not let go of the idea that Bill Cosby was an idol and a father to them and all these kind of things. And even though there were 60 accusations that I respect and listen to of these women, there are a bunch of people that are saying this now kind of helps them feel validated that he's not in jail anymore, and had these conversations because they were constantly having the black man as the poster child when they do something wrong. So Roman Polanski, for example, is another person that abused and sexually assaulted 13-year-old, and he fled to France and has never been brought back. We have Woody Allen and all these other people that are in similar roles as Bill Cosby that have never faced anything close to what Bill Cosby has faced and is facing. And so I do agree that he deserves the time for anything that he did and has went under this, but I think there's a sentiment, and I'm seeing all over Twitter, of people who are not even of color or just men or whatever, and I, again, stand with the people who are survivors, but I do think that there's a sentiment that people are standing here saying they're tired of the black person being the poster child instead of everyone. And so maybe this is accountability time to go after all those rich people who have done similar things, and time to reel them all in and maybe start actually making the justice system work the same for everybody, like we always talk about.
Wow, great conversation. Coming up on DBL, the search for answers continues in that condo collapse in Florida. Could it have all been prevented? We're talking to a civil engineer who's been on the scene investigating, and Howard Stern fans are outraged after he announced he's taking the summer off. Why, they say now is not the time for a vacation. Plus, a warning from Dr. Fauci about vaccination rates, what he's saying about the divide in America as the Delta variant spreads.
Closed captioning provided by
Welcome back to DBL. It's been almost a week since the Florida condo came crashing down, and there still hasn't been anyone pulled out alive from the rubble since hours after it collapsed last Thursday. At the time of our taping, 145 people are still unaccounted for. Today, we're getting a look at a letter that was sent from the board president to condo residents back in April. It describes the decay of the building, saying, quote, concrete damage observed would begin to multiply exponentially, and observable damage, such as in the garage, has gotten significantly worse. Now, the board reportedly wanted residents to help pay for the $15 million in repair to the building. And as we mentioned yesterday, a lot of people are focusing in on the pool area as a possible weak point that caused the collapse. But there are other possible theories. Some experts think this giant shock test that the Navy conducted off the coast of Florida, which registered as a 3.9 magnitude earthquake, could have contributed to the collapse. Area residents also complained about a development project next door, which they said regularly caused the building to shake. So joining us now is Alan Kilsheimer, a world-renowned civil engineer who's been hired to investigate this very collapse. Alan, thank you for being here despite the horrific circumstances. What are you looking at here as a possible reason that this building collapsed?
Well, let me start by saying I'm a structural engineer, not a civil engineer, but leave that aside. The way we investigate failures like this is we come up in our minds with all the potential possible causes we can think of. And then based on information we get, develop, test, computer programs we run, engineering analysis we do, we try to eliminate them one at a time. Sometimes the list gets longer and sometimes the list gets smaller. And when we have completed all these investigations that we need to be doing, we sometimes, usually when the trigger event is like a bomb or a hurricane or something like that, or a plane, we know what the trigger event was. In this case, we don't know what the trigger event was. So we're trying to figure out what the trigger event might be, or trigger events. And then you look at the various systems in the building to try and see if they weren't perfect. And in my 63 years of doing this, there's never been a perfect building. And there are always little things that are wrong with it. So then you look at these things that might have been wrong, and you say, if that trigger occurred, and that particular thing would have been perfect, then maybe it wouldn't have come down. And so you go through that, but in the very end, you probably will have several possibilities of why this thing came down, and you won't be able to get it past that point. But I don't know whether we're going to be at that point or not.
Well, you know, a lot has been made of this 2018 engineering report that recommended millions of dollars in repairs. As a structural engineer, if you saw that report, would you have been worried that the building was in danger of collapsing?
Well, first thing, remember, I'm a structural engineer, so theoretically, I understand what that report says, right? And based on what I, as a structural engineer, would understand that says, no, that would not give me any indication that the building was in any danger of collapse.
Let's talk about the sister building. If you lived in one of them, would you feel comfortable living there right now?
Well, I'm going to answer that again from a structural engineering standpoint. If I lived in the building and I was not a structural engineer, I would say, gee, maybe I should be a little worried about this, right? But at the same time, One of the things I've been doing is looking at the drawings for the north building and the east building, beginning to understand some of those buildings too. And as I sit here today, I see nothing that tells me that either of those buildings is in imminent danger of structural collapse.
Now, across the country, a lot of people who live in high-rises right now are worried. So what advice do you have for them? Should they be looking for somewhere else that they think is safer, or is this just a Florida issue? How do you feel about that?
I don't think you draw what is it called, the food with the garbage or something. I think this is most probably, and again, I have 60 some odd years experience in doing this, and I've investigated probably 50 to 100 collapses. I think this is a one-off for this kind of issue, whatever this issue is. I certainly wouldn't be concerned with other buildings unless there was somebody found a structural design problem or a structural construction problem, and then they evaluated and determined if there was a problem. So no, I certainly wouldn't. I would tell those people, don't worry, because if you don't know something for sure, and you can't listen to all these experts that really aren't experts, that don't, they just, there's some people like to scare people, right? Right. So no, I wouldn't be concerned. And I don't live in a house. I live in a house, not a high rise, but I've never lived in a high rise. But our firm has designed several hundred of them. And, while we make mistakes and we design, we almost always catch the mistakes before they're a problem. And while buildings are built, there's always a little bit of a problem with a building when it's being built. They don't get everything perfectly, but usually you catch them. And then there's, I always say buildings talk to you if you know how to listen to them. So the key is getting folks that know how to listen to buildings talking to them to understand.
Alan, thank you. We have run out of time. We really appreciate you for clarifying and for joining us on DBL. Good luck getting to the bottom of this. We hope that people can have answers. I know a lot of the people out there are just in pure anguish, but they are in good hands, in your hands. We'll be right back.
If you've been priced out of the red-hot housing market, good news. Experts say the market may be starting to cool. Let's connect the dots. Houses are selling quickly right now, often for thousands above asking price. You can blame a big increase in demand and record low mortgage rates. But Realtor.com says things may be changing. New numbers show fewer buyers are applying for mortgages and price growth is slowing down. The chief economist for Moody's Analytics has some theories about what's going on. First, he says mortgage rates aren't going to stay this low forever. Once prices go up, housing prices will adjust as well. Also, more people are returning to work, meaning the demand for a perfect home office is going down. Even if home prices drop, experts are not expecting a catastrophe. Most do not believe this is a housing bubble, so they aren't expecting a crash like 2008. They say prices probably won't plummet. You might just have less competition when you make a bid. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. With this new, more contagious Delta variant now accounting for more than a quarter of COVID cases, Dr. Fauci is out with a warning. Here's what he said on CNN last night.
What you are going to see among under-vaccinated regions, be they states, cities, or counties, you're going to see these individual types of blips. It's almost like it's going to be two Americas. You're going to have areas where the vaccine rate is high, where there's more than 70% of the population has received at least one dose. When you compare that with areas where you may have 35% of the people vaccinated, you clearly have a high risk of seeing these spikes in those selected areas.
Wow. So what do you think of the idea of two Americas, one with low vaccination rates and COVID cases spiking again, and the other where enough people got the vaccine to keep COVID cases down? So this is clearly going to depend on where you live. Terrifying. Does it impact the way you would travel?
I don't know if it's terrifying. I think it's truthful. I think we are in two Americas, whether it be on the vaccine, whether it be politically, whether it be socially. We're divided, and that's just the way it is. So we have to deal with what we have to deal with now. The people who aren't vaccinated are not going to get vaccinated. No incentive is going to get them vaccinated. They've made up their minds, and that's fine. I've chosen to be vaccinated. I'm 88% protected against this new Delta variant. I feel very comfortable. I feel very comfortable going to the store, going to sporting events. I feel comfortable. So the people who don't or aren't vaccinated are the ones that should be worried. And I feel most for people who are asymptomatic, right? That could get this disease and it could kill them. If I was vaccinated and I had a child that was asymptomatic or immunocompromised, that's what I meant to say, I'm sorry, I would be mad. I would be furious. But right now, that isn't my position, and I feel comfortable where I'm at walking in my shoes.
And I think it's turned into like this individualistic thing where, like, I'm vaccinated, you're not. And we're going to have people that can't get vaccinated for medical reasons, even though the number is small. We're going to have people who can't get vaccinated for religious reasons that we have to respect. And so I think when we start to walk around and say, okay, I'm vaccinated, you're not, it's going to create this divide that some people didn't even ask for. It's just the way that they were born or the way that they were born into this religion. And so I think we have to be careful about just saying who got vaccinated and who didn't, and starting to pick people out and make people show their passport vaccination cards.
Segregate them in some sort of sense.
Right, and I know that it might be a requirement for travel or school, but I just feel like it's creating like a really uncomfortable environment for a lot of people.
I think that the reason why it creates an uncomfortable environment, and I'm not talking about religious people or autoimmune compromised individuals.
Right.
That's why we want herd immunity, to protect those people. Right. That's the goal. It's the people out there that are watching YouTube conspiracy theory videos, that are reading clickbait, sensational, controversial headlines that have zero substance to them, pure misinformation, that infuriates me, as my brother-in-law is still in the hospital going on 7 months with COVID complications. And I know I'm not alone, because I've had viewers reach out to me saying that 2 weeks ago, their loved one's on a ventilator. 6 weeks ago, there's another viewer, day 47, her father, 52 years old, is still on a ventilator for COVID complications today.
Right. Well, perception is reality. And no matter how you feel about those videos, those people feel just as seriously that they are true and they are living their truth. And what's going to happen, because you feel the way you do and they feel the way they do, it's just, human beings will naturally separate. There will be areas that have higher spike rates, like Dr. Fauci was saying, and that's going to create almost a natural isolation with certain areas. And the people that are there are going to kind of buy into that because that's how they feel. And the people that would not take their family there on vacation, should that COVID rate spike, will be people like you, so it will naturally take care of itself. But it is what it is, and we cannot stop that.
Wow. All right, well, we will be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
chamomile tea, melatonin, warm milk. They're just some remedies people swear by to help them get to sleep. People on social media are now adding lettuce water to the list. The idea of the green leaf brew caused a stir on TikTok when Shapla 11 steeped a couple of leaves of lettuce in hot water. The London-based TikToker's video was so hot that it received more than 1 million likes. So let's verify. Is there evidence that proves lettuce tea helps people get to sleep? Our sources: studies published with the National Library of Medicine, a sleep doctor, and a medical herbalist. Several studies found that lettuce contains lacticarium, a natural chemical that helps people relax and induce sleep. Scientists put that to the test by feeding mice Lactica sativa, which is the scientific name for lettuce. After nibbling on the leafy green, scientists noticed that lettuce increased sleep in some of the mice. Medical herbalist Todd Caldecott explains that if you make an extract out of lettuce to make a tea, there's just not going to be enough of the active ingredient to put a person to sleep.
You're not going to extract very much of this lacticarium, the active ingredients, and there's not very much in there to start with. So I doubt that it will have an observable, objective sedative effect.
Sleep specialist Dr. Michael Breas adds that neither of the studies provides enough evidence that lettuce tea or lettuce water actually helps humans with sleep.
we've got 2 studies that I've been able to review, the 2017 study and the 2019 study. To be fair, those were done in rodent models. That's the only studies that I've read about lettuce. And I just don't feel that it's a compelling enough data to be able to say, hey, everybody, go out and do something like this.
So we can verify there is no evidence that proves lettuce tea or lettuce water help a person fall asleep. Just mice. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Want something? If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show on Facebook or YouTube, chat with other viewers, leave your comments, and be a part of our DBL Nation. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Howard Stern is getting backlash for taking a vacation. Is it well-deserved, or do his fans deserve an explanation? And former Smallville star Allison Mack gets sentenced for her involvement in the NXIVM sex cult. How much time will she spend in prison?
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam, here with my friends Jeff Al and Lindsay. Let's get started. A really important story. A lot of us have been invested in this one. Former Smallville actress Allison Mack has been sentenced to 3 years in prison for her role in the NXIVM sex cult. Allison was a high-ranking member of the group where women were branded with leader Keith Raniere's initials, and were directed to have sex with him. Allison testified against Keith and provided evidence that helped prosecutors convict him of racketeering. During her sentencing hearing, Allison called her time in the cult, quote, the biggest mistake and regret of my life. Now, NXIVM was the subject of an HBO documentary. Keith is currently serving 120 years in prison. Now, we were all very invested in this, right? Jeff, you're the one that turned me on to this.
Yeah.
When you hear that Allison Mack has now finally been sentenced, and I say finally because a lot of her victims have been waiting for this justice, did you think that this is what her conviction would have been?
When you first were reading, I was like, is that her sentiment, or is she trying to cut down her, right? Is she trying to cut down her charges? Does she really feel like that was the biggest mistake and regret it for life? Because she didn't look that way on the show. I'm not saying people can't change. She definitely can. It just, hey, if you testify against this guy, we're going to cut your time way down, and now you're coming out with these statements. Seems a little fishy to me. That's just my first observation.
When I watched that documentary, I was like, people and the brainwashing and everything that led up to all the different accusations that they were accused of and convicted of, I think that everybody needed to go to jail. So I can't feel any remorse. Even when you read her statement, I was trying to be like, oh man, you know, maybe she was a victim of kind of getting brainwashed, but I'm like, I think she deserves to go to jail also, even though she put the leader in jail behind bars also. She has like a lot of them have some mental health issues, in my opinion, that they have to deal with after going through that cult, after being brainwashed, and after spending so much time convincing other people that the cult was a good idea.
But you know, I feel the same way, but I'm worried that that same precedent could be used if there was like a pimp situation where he was using younger women to go out and recruit other younger women. You know what I'm saying? There's a way that the mastermind kind of sets everybody else up, but they never have any paraphernalia on them. They never have anything that they can really get in trouble for. It's really the people right underneath them. So that's what I would worry about with that. And I also wonder, like, how do you prove whether somebody's mental health is compromised? Because when somebody is in a cult, it seems like somebody is normal, like Jeff, is just gone. And you're like, where's my friend? And I don't know, is that punishable by law? Does jail help? I don't know.
You know, I think you bring up a good point, but there still needs to be consequences.
Absolutely.
She could be a victim too, but she also victimized how many countless women? So there has to be consequences.
Men and women.
Men and women. Wow. Okay. So Kim Kardashian took some fashion risks while visiting, we're switching gears here, while visiting the Vatican in Italy. Kim showed up to the Holy City wearing a sheer off-the-shoulder lace dress with cutouts that exposed her midsection and back. The Vatican has a very strict dress code. If you've been there, it says that low-cut garments, shorts above the knee, and mini skirts are not permitted. But once inside, Kim did cover up with this black trench coat. Okay, so a lot of people are saying that this is outdated. I don't think so. When I went to Italy, every church I went into, they ask you to cover up. I did not take offense to that. I put a jacket on or a sweater, or I was mindful before I went in.
Well, when in Rome.
Yeah.
Exactly, right? When people are offended by other people's cultures and if this is outdated, it doesn't concern you. Cover up, that's what they want you to do. I was at the Vatican
and
with
Jeff, real quick, it is outdated. It's the beginning of recorded time.
Exactly. So, let them do what they want. I wore shorts and I was turned away. I luckily had one more day. I visited all around and I went back the next day with pants on. Kim Kardashian knew she couldn't wear what she was wearing, so shame on Kim Kardashian in this aspect, trying to like test the waters, break that barrier. I don't like that. Listen, this is their rule. This is a different country. You know you can't show skin going in there. Why do you go there dressed like that?
Maybe she had her trench coat with her.
Listen, people told her you can't show skin, and she chose to walk in there like that. Now we're doing the story. Kim wins. I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's really annoying. I agree with you because I think that she understands how to dress, and I understand like your midriff is out and all this stuff. And I'm somebody who's super extra. Like if it's an occasion, I'm dressing up for it. But like that ain't the occasion. It's just like you're going to the church. This is the Vatican City is a country that governs itself.
Yes. Yep.
They have their own rules. Jeff said he got kicked out for shorts above the knee. It's like going to any of these other countries.
I wasn't let in. You made it seem like I was
kicked out. My bad, Jeff.
in there.
But I just think Kim wants attention, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I agree with you. But okay, so it's a long queue, a long line to get into that Vatican. I remember that line. Did you wait in that line and then got
for
turned
me,
away?
I just walked up and they told me I can't go in. There was no line, and I went back the
Really?
next day and I went to mass. I was like in a service in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
For me, it's like, listen, you can't do that.
Right.
And we don't talk about you enough. You need to be in the news again.
Be respectful. I did, though, buy a gold cross from there, and they said it was solid gold. It was not.
I bought a bunch of stuff.
Still upset about that. Yeah,
off the street?
Green. No,
Yeah, but
from the Vatican gift
I don't know
shop.
if we know where you bought
Why
that
is
from.
it on me? At the
How much
Vatican
did you pay
gift
for that?
shop? 80 euros?
It's
80
gold plated
euros.
then.
Solid gold
Yeah, come on,
cross
man.
for 80 euros.
Gift shop
It's going
talk.
for about $2,000 an ounce. What? So
I didn't know you were gold.
I watch a lot of
That's so
Gold Rush.
specific.
Discovery's my jam.
Wow, expert over there. I'm still upset
I
about
thought it
my
was
green
solid
cross.
gold car for $80.
Well,
shame on them.
They should disclose that it's
gold plated.
Don't
copper.
Don't walk by
it turned
kiosks
green
in the
like
mall.
copper.
Stay away from
kiosks. It was at the actual Vatican gift shop.
So there's no one dubious in.
Wow, what a word.
You went from a gold expert to a professor. Okay.
That's what Big Jeff does.
All right, so shock jock Howard Stern is dividing his fan base. Howard just announced he will be taking the summer off and won't be returning to SiriusXM with new shows until September. But the thing is, he just signed a new deal, which is said to be worth $500 million. Some fans say he deserves the break. One tweeted, quote, "Love Howard Stern. The dude started at the bottom. If he wants the summer off, then he shall have it off." But other loyal listeners don't want to pay to listen to reruns and are threatening to cancel their subscriptions. Howard Stern taking the entire summer off is bull bleep, said one person. Should he be allowed to take a break? Or if you are paying specifically for his subscription and you don't want to listen to said repeat episodes, what do you do?
Sometimes I get subscriptions just for one show. You cancel it for the summer and get it back again. This man is a $500 million man for Sirius. That he could take the summer off. And I know people have been like, oh, maybe we could finesse. He could do shows on Monday. If I was a $500 million woman, I'm taking the summer probably extra off. Like, why not? Every time I speak, it's worth like $1,000. Every sentence. Like, why would I not take some time to myself to gather my thoughts that are so valuable?
All entertainers take time off. You think of sports, you think of entertainment, TV shows. There's always a hiatus, right? For things like this.
We don't have a hiatus.
We do. Yeah, we got a hiatus.
Right.
All right.
Tomato.
Our boss is standing right there, so I'm very respectful of the time we get off.
Sorry, I'm very appreciative. I'm just saying I'm just giving us some credit because we work really hard.
Yes,
But I mean,
we work really hard.
he's worked really hard for almost 30 years.
Oh, yeah,
Sam.
I'm not taking that
Like
away
he's
from
gotten a lot of people back and forth to work, and I think when you do sign up for the Howard Stern channel, I believe there's like 2 or 3 whole channels that are also committed to his reruns. He's got 20, 30 years of archives. So I do think that's you're really buying the Howard Stern package. I don't think you're just like a random person. Like, who's this Howard Stern person in 2021? You're a lifelong fan.
Well, he's the reason Sirius XM is on the map, right?
Absolutely.
I believe he's one of the, I don't know if he's the founder, but I know that he somehow got parts of that deal because he's the first entertainer that made Sirius XM. Remember, nobody knew what this was. Everyone was like, what?
He
Satellite
left terrestrial radio.
Yes.
That was huge. He left.
Right.
I believe it was K-Rock. I might be out of, but he left and he went to satellite radio. And everybody was like, well, I guess I'm getting satellite now.
Nobody paid for radio until or satellite, I should say, until it was Howard Stern. And just to be clear, he deserves a vacation. He has a family. He has a wife. He has kids. Come on now, you guys.
He's not.
We all deserve a
mining
vacation.
coal. Like he's sitting in a studio.
What?
I'm just saying he's not working that hard like he deserves.
You don't know what his day entails.
Recording from home.
Albert, so he doesn't deserve a vacation to be with his wife and kids?
Look, I'm just saying, I think their life is okay. I'm saying if you can negotiate that into your contract, do it. But I mean, you're acting like, he's
Oprah
using a
takes the summer
jackhammer in the middle of the highway in
I
Florida.
never
It's
said
not
he has
that
a
hard.
jackhammer in the side of the highway. Albert's just looking for a reason to argue.
I'm just
yes,
saying,
you are.
there are harder jobs in the world.
I never said there weren't.
Solid gold cross.
Coming up on DBL, a chilling true crime chronicles the story of a small town on edge for years as 8 murders remain unsolved. Are the families any closer to closure?
Closed captioning provided by
Welcome back to DBL. In South Central Louisiana, a small town has been on edge for years. 8 young women, known as the Jennings Eight, were murdered over 4 years. No closure and no clues. Could police corruption be a reason why? Here's the story on DBL's True Crime Chronicles.
On the edge of Cajun country lies a small town, Jennings, Louisiana. It's a place that used to be known as quiet farmlands, but now the roads are a haunting reminder of the horrible things that happened there. It started in 2005. A decomposing body was found floating in a canal in town. It was 28-year-old Loretta Lewis. Less than a month later, another body was found in a different nearby canal. It was 30-year-old Ernestine Patterson. Her throat was slit and she was brutally murdered. Over the next 4 years, 6 more women were murdered. In 2007, Kristen Lopez and Whitney Dubois. In 2008, Laconia Brown, Crystal Zeno, and Brittany Gary. And in 2009, the last victim, Nicole Guillory. All of their bodies were dumped along rural roads and canals.
I think we have more than one killer here, and I think they all run in the same circle. I think somebody knows something, but they're scared to talk.
All 8 women knew each other. Some were related. Others were roommates. They all frequented the same bars and engaged in drugs and similar lifestyles. After local police failed to crack the case, the victims' families hired Kirk Menard to investigate.
You know, sometimes I wonder, are they any further along than what they were the first day they started?
For years, people living in the town speculated local police could be involved.
I think it's connected with the police because there's too many murders and you can't solve them, and it's steady going on, back to back to back. How you not can catch this man?
The police department does have a questionable past. A police chief was caught stealing money and drugs in the evidence room. Deputy Warren, who was a chief criminal investigator, was caught purchasing a truck from an inmate and selling it for a profit. It's the same truck several witnesses reported seeing one of the murder victims in.
They're getting tons of information about specific cops and deputies and their involvement in these homicides.
Is it just a coincidence, or could police corruption play a role? Who murdered these 8 young, innocent women, and why?
And earlier, Tori and Lindsay spoke with a reporter who's working on this case. Take a look.
We are joined by investigative reporter Mike Pearlstein from WWL-TV in New Orleans, Louisiana. First off, thank you for being here. 8 women, I can't believe I'm saying this, were murdered over 4 years, and their bodies were dumped on the side of a rural road. These killings were brutal. What, for you emotionally, has it been like covering this case since day one?
The task force was offering $85,000 reward. What was very emotionally difficult were the lack of answers. I spoke to the families of these victims. Some had hired private investigators. There seemed to be no progress in even generating viable leads in this tiny town. The bodies in 6 of the 8 cases had decomposed to such an extent that it made forensic evidence hard to find. In some cases, the cause of death could not be determined.
All of these women knew each other and they lived the same lifestyle. So there have been a few suspects, but no arrests. Where does the case stand today?
Tragically, all these years later, the case may be even further away from getting solved than it ever was, primarily due to the death of one key witness who knew all of these women. He was a drug addict, drug dealer, pimp, and he had connections to all 8 of the women. In fact, he was the last person to see a couple of them alive. His name is Frankie Richard, and he passed away in 2020. And buried with him are many, many answers to these burning questions. He had given interviews, including to me, admitting that he had pimped these women for drugs, prostituted them. That was the one sad common thread in the life and lifestyles of these 8 women.
Mike, I want to get to this point. There was some allegations of police misconduct in this case. And I just want to know, does that still stand true? And is there distrust in that sort of local, small town law enforcement with the community?
Well, I would say that echo of police involvement is probably as loud as it has ever been. For one, how do you have 8 killings in a 4-year span in a small town with both a local police department, sheriff's office, and now an FBI task force, and keep running into roadblocks, evidence that has disappeared?
So what's it like for people who still live in Jennings and can't escape the tragedy?
The people of the town are both distrustful of law enforcement and a little bit fearful. If you're able to, whoever was responsible for this, get away with 8 killings in a short period of time, successfully covered up, and now the trail has gone completely cold.
To learn more about this case, visit WWLTV.com. This story also is the subject of a new podcast episode. All you have to do is search True Crime Chronicles on your favorite podcast player. Mike, thank you for keeping these 8 women in the front and center of the public's attention. We really appreciate it. We'll be right back.
We are. If you've been priced out of the red-hot housing market, good news. Experts say the market may be starting to cool. Let's connect the dots. Houses are selling quickly right now, often for thousands above asking price. You can blame a big increase in demand and record low mortgage rates. But Realtor.com says things may be changing. New numbers show fewer buyers are applying for mortgages and price growth is slowing down. The chief economist for Moody's Analytics has some theories about what's going on. First, he says mortgage rates aren't going to stay this low forever. Once prices go up, housing prices will adjust as well. Also, more people are returning to work, meaning the demand for a perfect home office is going down. Even if home prices drop, experts are not expecting a catastrophe. Most do not believe this is a housing bubble, so they aren't expecting a crash like 2008. They say prices probably won't plummet. You might just have less competition when you make a bid. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. It's time for Security Alerts, sponsored by LifeLock. So for years, the Better Business Bureau has warned older adults and seniors to be cautious of scams as they were at highest risk. But now there's a new warning. The Federal Trade Commission says the younger generation is now at higher risk of being scammed compared to seniors, thanks to the digital world. Get this, 44% of people ages 20 to 29 have lost money to fraud or scams. That's actually more than double the amount of people ages 70 to 79. On average, scammers steal about $150 from the younger population by tricking them with online shopping ads or sales. So if your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. So, for instance, there's a store on, there's so many stores, right, when you go on Instagram or Facebook, and you think, oh, this top is so cute, $9.99. A lot of those, not all of them, but many of those are fraudulent.
I just bought some decorations for my Crocs. I know I'm corny for that.
Oh my God.
But just stop.
No, you did
but
not.
I think that I might
beat that sentence out.
I'm gonna read some comments about Kim K.
Wait, you did?
Yeah, we can't move
bought
on after
those
that.
little, like...
Yeah. Oh, yes, I bought some decorations for my Crocs, and I was scared that I was buying them from a scammer, but they were like $2 a piece. So I PayPal'd her $10, and I'm hoping that I get my...
You can't dig yourself out of this hole.
No.
I'll show you guys my Crocs when I decorate them. I'm a mom now, okay? I'm corny.
You can do whatever you want.
Next comes the visor. I almost bought a visor the other day, but I did not.
You do have one.
I do not have
A
one.
Von Dutch one?
Why do you want
Never
this Von
Von
Dutch?
Dutch. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. I'm Stephanie Jones with the week's top style and trending news. Thinking it might be time to upgrade your AirPod accessories? If you've got a few extra pennies lying around, then Chanel has got you covered. And what do Pharrell and the Avengers have in common? Find out in my What the Fashion moment of the week. It's Fashion Fix. First, let's talk about mum jeans. They're one of the hottest trends right now, and they're not your mama's mum jeans. Back in the 80s, these high-waisted, highly unflattering for the bum jeans could be found on mums as far as the eye could see, and eventually they became a punchline. But thanks to millennials, what goes around has come back around, and it's no laughing matter. The updated trend stays true to its roots with light denim washes and, of course, ultra-high waist. And you can also skip the hardware and opt for a ribbon closure instead, or really go for that vintage 80s and 90s look with a cinched and ruffled number like this one. And if you're really daring, how about these quarter panel denim darlings with a pair of Doc Martens to boot? Literally, it's nice knowing we can rely on the younger generations to make us feel cool about what we wore when it was considered, well, not cool. Next, we are loving this couture accessory, but heads up, it might live in the when I can afford this section of your vision board for a while. AirPods, earbuds, at this point, they're basically an extension of our bodies, and if you're not always looking for them, you're probably using them. But Chanel thinks that they aren't glamorous enough, so they just released this pearl rhinestone and leather carrying case that'll set you back a little over $2,600. A girl can dream, right? And if you're still shopping, Chanel's got plenty more bejeweled, bedazzled, and budget-busting AirPod accessories that you can choose from. And finally, sink your teeth into this one, DBL Nation. It's my What the Fashion moment of the week. So how can you not love Pharrell Williams? He's got the music, the looks, the nice guy vibe, and now he's also the proud owner of a new grill. We're not talking about the kind that's in your backyard. Pharrell's got a brand new custom-made 22-karat gold, diamond, ruby, sapphire, and emerald encrusted mouthpiece. Translation, he's got a mouthful of money, $100,000 worth. The custom grill took 6 months to create, including the time it took to source some of the rare stones that are included in the design. But what's most striking is its resemblance to the Infinity Stones that caused such a ruckus in the Avengers. If anything, Pharrell is my new hero for having the stones to rock those stones. That's it for your fashion fix. I'll see you around next time.
On DBL, a super dad shares his story of adopting 6 children with disabilities.
I knew if I was going to become a father, I wanted to take on the children that were least likely to be adopted.
How he's inspiring the LGBTQ community and beyond. That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. We love sharing your comments. What do we got, Lindsay?
Okay, a lot of people talking about Kim K. Jessica says, Kim is crazy for that outfit. Everything is so calculated for the Kardashians, so she knew what she was doing. And Elise says, Kim's outfit was fine. She respectfully wore that coat when she got inside. That's not respectfully. That's not even...
Lindsay, take your shoes off.
Because it's just so... I don't have a problem with the Kardashians, but I have a problem when they act annoying, like, I never got surgery, I don't know what you mean. I got these lip implants because I kissed somebody, they told my lips. Like, I hate the nonsense that comes with it. Like, I didn't know I couldn't wear a crop top to the Vatican. Like, you know.
Come on.
You're in your 30s, you're late 30s.
Yes, you have to cover up. They don't let you show shoulder, too.
We just did the story.
Well, we never
Jeff, you're the only one on the panel that got kicked out of the Vatican before, so just please.
I didn't get kicked out.
With just short shorts. What were they, like the ones that the guys wear at the beach?
They were the Euro
Hashtag Jeff got kicked out.
He came off the beach.
Listen, don't pretend like you don't look at my buttocks when I walk away.
DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, guys.